Hello all my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is indeed the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I, and I would like to welcome you into the fam. So guys, in today's ultra personal pick a card tarot reading, we are going to be discussing what unexpected big changes are coming towards you. And since you guys have been obsessed with my signature two-part approach to a tarot reading, this reading is going to be another Vanessa and I exclusive where you get to pick during 2 rounds. So for the first part of your personal tarot reading, you get to choose one of these 4 groups, which I am going to introduce to you in a minute. And once you have received the first part of the reading, you get to scroll down into the description box or the comment section, whichever you prefer, and pick the timestamp that corresponds to your zodiac sign in order to receive an even more personal reading. Because not only is my channel the most healing and relaxing channel, but I also want to ensure that each one of you receives a reading that is as accurate and as personalized as possible. And I want you to make as much use of this video as you possibly can. So if you know that your sun sign is in Virgo, but your moon sign, for example, is in Sagittarius, you can watch the Virgo reading, but also the Sagittarius one in order for you to receive a reading that is tailored to you specifically. So feel free to interpret your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, whichever resonates the most with you. So before I introduce you to the 4 groups that I have prepared for you today, I would like to thank today's sponsor. Hello everyone, and welcome from the beautiful forest in Zurich, Switzerland. Oh hey guys, I'm excited to have you as part of one of my new habits that I'm building. And it's all thanks to today's sponsor, Fabulous. Fabulous is the #1 app to help you build and track your habits, such as taking daily walks, exercise, spending time in nature, as well as making sure that you stay hydrated, glowing, which is why I was so excited to have been given the opportunity to work with Fabulous. And guys, habit changing and habit building can be really challenging, especially when you're trying to switch out old dated habits with new ones. And that is exactly where Fabulous comes in handy. But enough talking, let me show you how Fabulous works. Fabulous is a super gentle way to help you track all of your progress and also receive gentle encouragement whenever you need it. One thing that I really love about using the app is that it's almost like having your own personal support system there. There are tons of amazing positive affirmations and constant support and uplifting energy. And this allows you to build healthy habits that actually stick. So with Fabulous being tailored to your needs specifically, and also being based on behavioral science, you can rest assured that this is a great investment in your physical as well as your mental health. I want to encourage you to embark on the journey to building your personal daily routine using Fabulous. And as a unicorn mom, I of course have an amazing deal for all my beautiful little unicorns, which allows you to try out the app for free. And once your trial period has ended, you can get Fabulous Premium at 25% off. So if your physical and mental health is important to you and you're looking for some great support as well as encouragement along your journey, then make sure you use my link down below in the description box to unlock your 7-day free trial, as well as 25% off your premium package. So if you're interested, act quickly. There are only 100 spots for this amazing deal. Make sure that you click the link below, snatch your 7-day free trial period, and if you love it, you're one of the fortunate 100 who get Fabulous Premium at 25% off. And don't worry, you can of course change your mind anytime. So now let's get acquainted with the 4 groups that I have prepared for you today that are going to help us figure out what big unexpected changes are coming into your life next. So group number 1 corresponds to the crystals, the stone oracle deck, as well as the pyrite. Group number 2 corresponds to the tattoo tarot, as well as the zebra jasper. Group number 3 corresponds to the daily crystal inspiration oracle deck, as well as the azurite. And group number 4 corresponds to the good tarot, as well as the rose quartz. But as already mentioned earlier, all of the timestamps can be found down below in the description box as well as pinned to the comment section for quick and easy access. So I will now provide you with an opportunity to meditate on the 4 groups. Feel free to pause the video here if it serves you. Either way, allow for your intuition to do its work in helping you choose your group. So by now you've hopefully been able to pick one of these 4 groups in order to receive the first portion of your reading. And don't forget that once you've picked the first portion of your reading, you get to combine that with your zodiac sign. So now I'll get into it, starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the crystals, the stone oracle deck, as well as the pyrite. So if this is a group that you chose, you can keep watching, and to all of my other lovely groups and signs, I'll catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the crystals, the stone oracle deck, as well as the pyrite. Let me first and foremost get you acquainted with the crystal of your choice. This is the beautiful pyrite. This is also known as the fool's gold for obvious reasons, because the pyrite almost looks like a little gold nugget. This is also a stone that helps attract abundance, which may be why you intuitively felt drawn to it, but maybe you also just loved how it looked. So let's move straight into it by figuring out what crystal that you felt drawn towards in this deck. So first we have the honey calcite. So now you may have chosen this deck because of the honey calcite, which is the stone that you intuitively felt drawn towards. Now the honey calcite is for anyone who is ready to break through their limits, anyone who feels like they're going through a time where they're trying to break through barriers in order to achieve more abundance. So in the honey calcite as well as the pyrite, we have 2 symbols of earthly abundance. We have 2 symbols of prosperity right off the bat within your reading, group number 1. So this is an awesome sign, an awesome foreshadowing that your near future is going to hold more financial freedom, more material abundance, as well as unexpected gifts. But let's move further into your reading to figure out exactly what those things could be, shall we? First up, we have patience. So group number 1, I do see that you will be required to be a little bit patient still before you're able to amass all of this earthly abundance. And the reason why you received the patience card is because the universe wants you to know that big changes can still come. That is exactly what we're talking about within this video, and in conjunction to the abundance that's ready to come for you. I want you to understand here, in conjunction to patience, that not everybody is famous, wealthy, or living their best, most influential, carefree life in their teens, their early 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s. For some people, things like this happen a little later in life. So don't be discouraged if you maybe have not come up in a very lavish surrounding, or you haven't received the recognition that you know that you deserve. Be patient and know that the abundance is something that's on its way, and that it's never too late for you. Because if you've ever felt like maybe you should just give up on your dream of living a life that is carefree, that is abundant, that is filled with earthly material possessions, but also spiritual freedom, don't give up, group number 1. This is your sign to be patient and to know that your time is coming. You have not yet passed your prime. Next, we have thriving. Now, group number 1, in thriving, this is an amazing sign that shows that obviously in conjunction to you receiving this earthly abundance, you're going to feel like you're thriving like you never have before. And this is just all in all a very positive start to the big unexpected changes that are coming into your life, group number 2. So look forward to this, and as we mentioned in the patience card, know that it's not something that may happen overnight, but at the end of the day, what's meant to be yours will be yours sooner rather than later. Next up, we have the Sea Beacon Fairy. So in the Sea Beacon Fairy, I can see in this divine guidance that you feel like you're being led head, but you're not 100% sure where to, group number one. So it feels as though your intuition is talking to you, is speaking to you. You feel as though you definitely have a purpose in life, but you don't know where it's going to lead you to. You don't know what the outcome will be. And that is where, in conjunction to the number 3, which is what the sea beacon corresponds to, allow yourself to ask others, to speak to others about how they found their purpose, and also to be open-minded about life taking you on different detours in order to find your purpose. For me, for example, 5 years ago, if you would have told me that I'm a full-time YouTuber, entrepreneur, and author, I would have laughed in your face. I would have just said to you, I don't think so. That's not something that I see on my path. However, I did feel like I was being led somewhere. I just didn't know where. Remain open-minded. Don't make the same mistake that I did, which is to think that this could never be. Creating a life for yourself where you're doing something that you love is unattainable. If I can do it, then so can you, group number one. Let's move further into your reading. We have the carnivorous flower fairy. So in the carnivorous flower fairy, I can see here that a tempting offer for you is going to come with a high price. Now, this is very clear in conjunction to the patience card, that there may be some offers before you receive this earthly abundance that is meant for you, group number one. And with there being some offers, some people trying to get you into a business deal or as part of a business that is going to have you paying a high price, because there is no such thing as a get rich quick scheme. There is no such thing as all of a sudden going from being depressed to being as happy as you've ever been. It is, of course, a journey, and that is where you're being called to partake in that journey and be patient with it. If you try to take any shortcuts to these big changes, group number one, you're going to have to pay a high price. And this is something that I'm really glad that you received within your reading, because a lot of us, we don't have any ill intent behind taking shortcuts, right? We just want to create a better life for ourselves as quickly as possible. So when you take on an offer, or even consider an offer that seems too good to be true, group number one, I definitely want you to know that it's always going to come with some sort of karmic ties and strings, and it's best for you to just avoid these types of situations and encounters. And if there are any people who are trying to sell you on a business deal or a business model, or tell you that they found a way to make a lot of money very quickly or get healthy overnight, then back away, group number one. Block that contact out of your contacts list and move on, because I do see that this is definitely not going to end well for you. And with you having so many positive big changes coming for you, group number one, already, why ruin that or risk that, right? Next, we have the caterpillar. So in the caterpillar, I can see here that things will not always be this way, and a big change is coming for you, group number one. And this is a card that just vibes beautifully with the topic of this video and with what we've spoken about up until this point within your reading. Things are definitely going to change. You're definitely going to have time in your chrysalis, time in your little cocoon. If you're a moth or you turn into a butterfly, either way, I want you to know here that in this caterpillar stage, it's all about quote unquote eating, right? Taking in a lot of information and also expanding as much as you possibly can before the big transformation and before the big changes that are coming. I can see here in the door that there are opportunities waiting for you, group number one. So your reading is truly filled with big changes that are coming, that will leave you thriving, that will leave you feeling like you finally have more financial means than you've ever had before, and also more time. You using your time more effectively. In the whale, I can see here that there is a lot of worry that's present. Great worry over nothing. That's what the whale stands for, group number one. So if you're a worrywart, if you're someone who worries a lot about scenarios that haven't occurred yet, or scenarios that you just make up in your head. If you're a little bit of a hypochondriac, group number 1, consider this a time where the universe is calling you out on that and trying to get you back to presence, trying to get you back to being mindful and to being in this moment, and reminding yourself that you only have this very moment right now. And now you have the next moment, and now you have this moment. You can't really access the future, you can't access the past. The only thing that you should be worrying about is what's before you right now. There is no point in pre-worrying. I can see here in the lily that is where, spiritually speaking, you can find a lot of love, you can find a lot of affection towards yourself, towards spirituality, as you learn to understand how to live in the moment and how to overcome worry about the future and the past, and how to just be in a space where you're not so entangled in what might happen or what has already occurred to you and how it affects your present moment. Of course, I get that, group number 1. Sometimes things happen to us and it affects us even in the present moment. It affects us to this day. But more often than not, we give those things power to affect us, which means that we can also take the power away from whatever is negatively affecting us, even if it's from a past event, even if it's from trauma that you experienced as a child or just at an earlier stage in your life. You can overcome that, group number 1, and overcoming that is going to open the door to a new sense of you thriving, a new sense of fulfillment for you. Next, we have the Ace of Cups. So group 1, the Ace of Cups is one of the most favorable cards when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships. Do know here in the Ace of Cups that if you are single, a big change that is coming for you is a new spark in your love life, a new flame, someone interesting that makes you feel romantically like you're heading in a direction that feels good. The Ace of Cups speaks of new beginnings emotionally and new ties that you're creating with another person. If you are in a relationship, group number 1, do know here that the Ace of Cups stands for a fresh beginning, most likely in a friendship or in an existing relationship and marriage where the flame and the spark can be rekindled. That's a big change that's coming that will shift your relationship dynamics for the better. Next, we have the Six of Crystals. Group 1, in the Six of Crystals reversed, I can see here that there may be some sort of opposition. There may be some people who are trying to get in the way of this happiness, trying to get in the way of allowing you to just lead your best life. And I don't mean getting in the way super maliciously. It could just be a little comment that isn't very nice. It could be just speaking behind your back, but it's important for you to remind yourself that no matter what you do, people will always speak about what you're doing. People will always have something to say or have an opinion. So if that is the case, group number 1, you might as well just do whatever fancies you, whatever suits you, and live your life. And know that the bigger you get and the more people that you reach, or the bigger the impact that you have, the higher the possibility and the chance of a number of people speaking about your choices or what it is that you're doing. Even people who have been able to change the world for the better, change millions and billions of people's lives for the better, have had haters, have had people who have talked badly about them behind their backs. But they just didn't care. They carried on in their convictions and the things that they believed in, and they led a life that was meaningful rather than one where they spent time just talking negatively about others. And that is the type of energy that I see you embracing, group number 1. That is the type of energy that I see the universe wanting to back you up on and wanting to remind you that that's who you truly are, not someone who wants to engage in the same low energetic type of conversation. Next, we have the Nine of Swords. So group 1, in the Nine of Swords, I do see here that this worry over nothing is something that isn't just going to go away overnight. So in order for that to truly change, I definitely see that there has to be some sort of impact. There has to be something that really shakes you up in a way. Let's see what that is, because right now in the Nine of Swords in conjunction to the Whale, I can see here that great worry over nothing, you just worrying about the future or the past, something that's definitely setting you back more than necessary. We have the Mend a Broken Heart Fairy. So I can see here in the Mend a Broken Heart Fairy in conjunction to the Ace of Cups that whoever's coming into your life is going to help you heal any emotional wounds, any broken heart scars that you may have, group number 1. So that is already amazing. In conjunction to the Whale, I do also see here in the Mend a Broken Heart Fairy that this worrying over something that hasn't happened yet is causing heartache that isn't real. This is all in your head. The Nine of Swords corresponds to the Suit of Swords, and the Suit of Swords is the suit of air signs, group number 1, in case you didn't know that. And air signs speak of communication. Air signs are all about what is happening for you mentally, but those things have not necessarily transpired into the physical realm just yet. And in conjunction to this Mend a Broken Heart Fairy, and a fairy being a being that has not yet been discovered, a being that is still a mystery, I want you to know that your heartache doesn't have to be real unless you, of course, emotionally back up your fears and put all of those vibrations through your body that are causing your body to have a fight or flight response because you're already stressing out about something as if it happened, even though it didn't, but your body and your mind don't know the difference. So they're going to release the same type of chemical responses in your physical body as if those scenarios that you're worrying about had already happened, which of course is unhealthy. Chronic stress is known to cause a lot of disease and just make life unenjoyable, right? Next up, we have the Candy Cane Angel. So it's time for a treat, group number 1. We've been talking about things that of course aren't easy for you to admit to. I mean, we all struggle with difficult emotions and past traumas, and in conjunction to you future worrying and worrying about the past, the Candy Cane Angel is trying to communicate to you to just treat yourself right now. If there's something that you really want, a crystal, a tarot deck, a piece of clothing, this is your sign. This is your permission, group number 1, to treat yourself with something that you know will truly make you happy. So don't look for the budget version. Get the version that you know you really like with a service attached that truly makes you happy. Because one thing that I can see that you kind of run risk of doing, group number 1, is that you want something, and instead of just getting it from the brand or the place that you know will give you the best service and the best quality, you may look for a cheaper version because you're trying to essentially cheap out on yourself. It's not necessarily that you can't afford it, it's just that you're not 100% sure if you deserve this item. Group number 1, do it, okay? Get what it is that you've always wanted. Get what it is that you have always eyed up, and remind yourself that you're worth it. At the end of the day, buying something that is higher quality and lasts you a lot longer is not only going to bring you more joy, but of course, it's going to create a lot less waste, and in the long run, you're going to save a lot of money. Just think about it. If you buy an item of clothing, a suit, a dress, whatever it is, and it lasts you a decade versus getting the cheaper version, which maybe only lasts you for a year, if even, that is 10 times the price if you have to repurchase it every single year, right? And if that item is only $50, but you have to repurchase it every single year, that adds up really quickly. And then you might as well have just gotten the good quality item that you know fits you or your space amazingly, whatever it is that you want, whether it's an interior design item, whether it's something for your kitchen or your closet. Just get the good quality thing, because in the long run you will feel so much more joy handling it, looking at it. It'll save you time and money. So think long term, group number one. I see that those are some of the changes coming from you, shifting from the mindset of being in the now to thinking with a lot more longevity. As I can see here in the Four of Crystals, group number one, that you're building more of a stable environment for your financial resources and your earthly things. So building a stable environment, by that I mean purchasing things of higher quality that will last you for a longer amount of time, and starting to build a collection of things that you're truly proud of and that you can take with you for decades and maybe even pass down to future generations. I can see here that in the throne we have a position of authority coming for you, group number one. So this is a big unexpected change that's coming for you, and maybe also why you're shifting your mindset from fast fashion, from fast little trinkets that are made in horrendous conditions really for the workers and this planet, to being in a place where you're a little bit more into luxury, because it's your choice to decide what you spend your money on, and you only want the best. And I see here in the throne that this is something that's going to give you some sort of position of authority where others come to you and seek advice, because they can see that clearly you're doing something that works. Clearly you're doing something that's also attracting back more very similar energy, and other people want in. Other people want to know exactly what type of mindset shift that you went through in order to have such a beautiful home, such a beautiful closet, such a beautiful self-care routine that isn't over the top where you're unnecessarily spending a lot of money, but at the same time, people can tell that you really value quality and you value great experiences. Then we have the apple. So group number one, in the apple, we have this temptation testing you, and this is going to follow you throughout the next months, really. So group one, I just have to be honest with you, temptation is something that will always be there. And we spoke about that here in the carnivorous flower fairy with this tempting offer that has a high price in conjunction to the apple. I definitely want you to understand here that temptation is something that is most likely always going to be there. There will always be low budget options for what you want, but remind yourself that the price that you pay in the long run, the unhappiness, the annoyance that it'll cause you, just not feeling as comfortable in the space as you could if you just got the version that was high quality, the version that was good for the planet, that was made with good vibes, not by people who are forced to work in horrendous conditions, the more you will really see your entire life elevate. So that mindset shift and continuing to overcome temptation to fall back into old patterns, this is something that you're going to work on constantly throughout the next months, group number one. But this change is something that I see you being really proud of, and that I see you shifting a lot for your financial resources as well as the longevity of your investments. So group one, this is the first part of your reading that I received. Now make sure that you click your zodiac sign down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the comment section, and then you can fast forward to your sign's reading, where we will receive even more personalized information about the big changes that are coming for you. Hello, group number two, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Zebra Jasper in conjunction to the Fatu tarot deck. Let's do a quick close-up of the crystal of your choice so you can get acquainted with its vibration and its energies. This is the beautiful zebra jasper. This is a stone that you don't come across very often, and this is a stone that encourages you to embrace the things that make you different and that make you unique. But let's move into your reading in order to figure out exactly what big changes are coming for you. Group number 2, I'm excited to figure out what your reading is going to start off with. First up, we have the Temperance card. So group number 2, in the Temperance card, one thing that I can see here is that one of the big changes that's coming for you is an increase in a lot of self-control. So maybe in the past you would have given in to a friend asking you to help them with a favor that you're not really about. Or maybe you would have given in to unhealthy foods, a whole bag of fries, a tub of ice cream, a whole cake for one. So I can see here in the Temperance card that you're kind of growing out of that and standing your ground more, finding more ways to overcome these situations. And of course, some of us struggle with addiction. Some of us struggle with disorders that cause us to be so obsessed with certain foods, with certain things in life, with certain substances. But I do want you to know here in the Temperance card that a big change that's coming for you is you shifting away from those habits that are unhealthy and not looking back anymore. So moving completely away from their fangs, from them having any control over you. Next, in the 8 of Wands, I can see that this is definitely going to cause a lot of movement within you, a lot of emotional responses. The Suit of Wands is the suit that corresponds to the element of fire. And as you can see here, we have this grid that is very rigid, that is keeping something in place, but at the same time, there are a lot of moving parts in these wands. So do know here that you're going to need to really persevere in order to not fall back into old habits, but naturally you're in a place where you're able to control your urges a lot more than in the past. I can see here in the Knave of Coins that you will take a lot of inspiration from an earth sign. The Suit of Coins corresponds to the element of earth, so think Virgo, think Capricorn, think Taurus. That is what we have here in the Knave of Coins. But furthermore, this could also be someone who is trying to seduce you, but you're standing your ground, group number 2. So in conjunction to the Temperance card, that is where we have that notion of seduction, of them trying to kind of get you to do what they want or get you to let your guard down prematurely. But I see here in the 8 of Wands that you're not about it, group number 2. You're standing your ground and you're going to ensure that you feel fully ready before you open yourself up emotionally, physically to any new person. I see here in community that a big change for you is the amount of time that you're going to spend in a community of like-minded people. So that could be, for example, watching videos such as mine on YouTube, leaving comments and connecting with others who are really into spirituality, tarot, and everything that goes beyond the conventional theme of life. So in community, I do also want you to know here that you're going to thrive a lot more than you ever have in the past, because maybe in the past you didn't quite feel as though your community allowed you to flourish. But group number 2, remind yourself that maybe you were in the wrong community. Not every community is for every person. And if you're someone who's really open-minded or who questions a lot of things, and you were brought up in a community that's rather conservative or just has one type of ideal and doesn't take on board any questions or anyone else's ideas, then of course you're going to feel like you have to switch communities in order to be able to thrive or make new friends, and in order to be as strong as you possibly can be, to stay away from addictions, to stay away from things that make you feel weak. And your quote-unquote addiction could be something as simple as comforting yourself with chocolate whenever you feel bad about something or whenever you're stressed out. It could be needing coffee or tea to get going in the morning. But I see that you're reclaiming your independence, because if you just think about it, it's actually kind of really shocking that our society condones the use of substances such as coffee and tea to be able to get up in the morning. And it's almost glorified, right? But Isn't it kind of crazy that we live in a society where most of us, or a lot of us, need that just to get up in the morning, when our bodies were designed to be able to work, get up and function just fine without? However, being dependent on these substances is somehow something that's normalized, and that is where I can see you thinking for yourself, reclaiming your own independence and figuring out exactly what you want to hold on to or what you want to keep as part of your life, and maybe also experimenting with eating really clean some days and not having any caffeine, and then other days allowing yourself to have the things that you want, even if they're unhealthy, to live a little bit, but doing it on your terms, not because your addiction is calling for it or you feel as though you just can't say no, but you're doing it because it was your choice and your decision. Next up, we have the cat. Wow. Okay, group number 2. We have a two-faced friend here, a two-faced person present, and that's trying to make a big impact and change in your life. In conjunction to the Knave of Coins, look out for that earth sign person that we spoke about that may try to seduce you and may try to get you to give in physically or emotionally before you're ready and before you feel like it's the right thing for you to do. We have a card that popped right out of the pile. This is it, the Rose. So in the Rose, I can see that this has to do with romance. So group number 2, be very careful who you trust, romantically speaking. You don't want to get involved with someone who just wants to kind of pick you up and then leave you hanging. You don't want to get involved with someone who's in it for the wrong reasons or their own benefit and isn't actually interested in you as a human being. So that is where I see that you're being called to look out. Moving further into your reading, group number 2, I can see here that you're on the right path regarding an aspect in your life, and in conjunction to the 8 of Wands, Temperance, and your community, I definitely see you strengthening this sense of self-control and this sense of self-preservation before being liked. This is something that shows that you're on the right path because you're no more worried about letting people down or saying no to other people. You're more about figuring out exactly what works for you and where you definitely want to hold off and get to know another person or a situation better before you commit. So I see this self-control and this independence being an important part of the big changes that are coming next for you. In the Weeping Willow, I see that something about your family is going to come with a big change that's going to make you feel kind of down. It could be someone moving away, and that may be the reason why you feel more inclined to lean onto your community. It could also, of course, be that there's a couple breaking up within your family, that there are two people who are going separate ways, and this is something that is causing you sorrow. This is something that makes you feel sad about your situation in your close family. But do know that family doesn't have to be just blood related. Family is who you decide is a part of that innermost, closest circle of yours. Let's move further into your reading so we can figure out more about the Weeping Willow, because I definitely want you to have as much information as I can possibly provide you with so you can just chill and rest assured that you already know all that you need to know. I can see here in the Weeping Willow that the family sorrow has to do with someone who has very feminine energy within your family, so don't feel like this has to apply just to a specific gender, but they have very nurturing and caring energy, and they have most likely already had a child or just been very close to another person that they've taken care of, and that is the person who's going to be affected by this family sorrow. I can see here in conjunction to the Knave of Swords that there's some sort of misunderstanding, some sort of argument, some sort of dispute in conjunction to the Empress. So some sort of family fight, some sort of family altercation is going to make you feel sad and is going to make you feel as though it's very unnecessary and it's something that you want to end, and it's going to cause a big change and maybe a split in your family where some people are on one side and others are on another, and just overall there is a little bit of a division division going on, if you will. But I can see here in love that this is all coming from a place of caring so deeply for one another and taking one another's advice and words so seriously that, of course, you can get hurt. Of course, this can cause a rift every now and then. So don't feel like this family sorrow is something that is long lasting or something that can't be overcome. It's some sort of family squabble that definitely originates from being family and from that just being a part of living and existing, coexisting with other people and having close relationships with them. Next up, we have simplicity. So group number 2, let's focus back in on you and the big changes that concern you specifically. In simplicity, I can see you getting rid of a lot of things. So coming back to a very minimalist way of living. And why I say coming back is because when we're born, we're all kind of minimalists, aren't we? We don't need much. Our parents hopefully clothe us, take care of us, feed us, give us water, and do everything that we need. But as babies, we don't feel like we need anything. Our surroundings are so interesting that we can spend the whole day learning and exploring them. But the older we get, it seems the more we care about stuff and the less simple life becomes. The more we care about what clothes we have, what toys that we have, what status symbols we have later in life, such as vehicles, such as just items in the house. We maybe start collecting things that we don't really need and don't love that much just to prove a point or to show that we are able to. So in simplicity, group number 2, I see you coming back to those roots that you originated from and back to this childlike sense of wonderment where you don't need anything really to be happy. As long as you're fed, you've got clothes, you're warm, and enough water, that's the simplicity that you find security in. So security is something that a lot of us falsely fabricate by accumulating a lot of things or feeling as though money is something that will give us security. But money is a thing that is very complex to take apart. If money is something that you've been traumatized by, it is definitely not an easy task to deal with that trauma because the wound just gets ripped open over and over again every single day. Most of us have to deal with money in some way, in one way or another. So I definitely want you to know here in security as well as simplicity that you're debunking this myth of a lot of things creating more security for you and understanding that actually, like, the more stuff you own, the more stuff you have to take care of, the less life is really secure and the less simple and fun it feels because you're constantly worried about your stuff. So I can see you detaching this notion of having a lot or being very wealthy from providing more security. It really depends how you live your life. Of course, being wealthy can be very helpful when it comes to security because you can afford certain things such as healthcare, such as actual literal security, such as installing cameras if you need to in order to ensure that you feel safe wherever you are, such as owning a phone plan so you can call other people even if you're in the middle of nowhere. That gives you a sense of security. However, as mentioned, it depends how you use it. And a lot of people who are wealthy or amass a lot of things end up having this false sense of security through the things. And then when it's stripped away, all of a sudden they completely lose themselves. And I see that you're doing things not the other way around, but you're now focusing on security and then worrying about the things that you want just because you want them. And when you do have other things that are material that you have amassed because you love what it looks like or you just think it's beautiful, you will understand that no matter what happens, you still know who you are and you still have a deep understanding at the core of your value and your worth, and you're never going to question that. Next, we have the wind chimes. So group number 2, in the wind chimes, this brings peace and harmony. This learning, these lessons that you're going through is going to bring such an increase in peace and harmony that you've never had before. And a big change is that you're going to feel like you just completely cannot relate anymore to a lot of close family and friends because you're just in a different place energetically. You're in a different place with your vibration, with the type of frequency that you're on, and just overall your mindset is so far from what it used to be and so far removed from the people who you know. But nevertheless, you feel at peace. Nevertheless, you feel like it's just meant to be this way. Next, we have the winged seer. So in the winged seer, we have clairvoyance that is accessible to you, group number 2. So if you've always felt like you might have some sort of psychic gift or talent, look into what clairvoyance means. This is definitely something that I see activating within your core, group number 2, and is something that you may be able to access more than ever at this given time. And this is a big change for you, moving from not knowing what your gift may be or not knowing exactly what your intuition is trying to communicate to you, and then all of a sudden you see things much more clearly and you see things from a different viewpoint. Next, we have out trick or treating. So in out trick or treating, I can see that someone is just going to kind of show up out of nowhere. So I see that here in conjunction to the Empress and the Knave of Swords, this family member who is going through it with another family member. One of them is going to latch onto you for support out of nowhere, or even show up at your door out of nowhere, call you out of nowhere. I can see here in the dried flower fairy that you're just going to wish that things were back to a stable place. So I definitely see big changes, not just for you, but also for the people who surround you, for your closest circle, group number 2. And this is affecting you greatly. This is definitely something that makes you feel like you wish people could just sort out their stuff on their own, and that you weren't always torn in so many different directions, group number 2. But I do want you to know the truth. I don't want to just say something for you, group number 2, because the more information you have, the better prepared you will be for anything that's coming towards you. In the star reverse, I can see that nevertheless, your life is in a very hopeful place. Your life is in a place where there's not just a lot of hope and support, but you also feel as though you know what the next steps are that you're taking, and you understand here that it doesn't matter how much certain people fight, squabble, or quarrel, they're going to come back regardless, because one thing that always unifies us is love. Next, we have the Seven of Cups reversed. So group 2 in the Seven of Cups reversed, you have a lot of choices and you understand that. And I do see here in the Seven of Cups reversed that you're making choices based on love. You're making choices based on what feels right for you, and you're trying to steer away from anyone who's dimming your light. I see that in conjunction to the Star reversed, because you definitely don't want to become a part of anyone's altercation or of anyone's fights. I see here in the Queen of Cups that you are remaining relentlessly neutral. You're not taking sides. You're not going to pick or choose any sides. And this is something that you're not going to compromise in. Some people may tell you to make up your mind to pick sides, but you're not about that. I see in the Queen of Cups that you're all about peace. You're all about keeping your sanity up. You're all about avoiding being a part of anyone's drama, group number 2. I'm really proud of you for that. I see here in the Four of Cups reversed, group number 2, if no one has ever told you this, you're one of the very few people who understand what it's like to be the mediator, to be the one having to solve everyone's problems, but at the same time, having so much depth and complexity that you could never put it in words or explain to another human being. And this is something that causes a feeling of almost like infinite loneliness at times, and a sense of not knowing whether you will ever be understood, which can of course feel very challenging or empty. But I do want you to know here in the Four of Cups that this may come from you being a starseed, from you being someone who isn't from this earth, who doesn't have their home on this planet, but has their home on a star that's far away in the universe. And therefore, maybe in your quiet moments, you feel like you don't 100% belong, or like you can't understand why some people argue with one another and squabble with one another when all they could do is spread love and focus on living this one life that we all just have one shot at living. After all, none of us have a backup life in the closet now, do we? So group 2, this is the first part of your reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section by leaving a little feather emoji down below. Now click your timestamp and fast forward to the zodiac sign that applies to you in order to receive a second part of your reading that is even more personalized and that is going to reveal to you more big changes that are coming towards your life. So I'll catch you over in your zodiac sign's prediction. Hello group number 3 and welcome to your reading. You chose the Azurite as well as the Daily Crystal Inspiration Oracle deck. Let me show you a quick close-up of your crystal so you can get acquainted with its energy and vibrations. This is the gorgeous looking Azurite. I just love its deep and intense blue. Let's move into your reading so we can figure out what big unexpected changes are coming towards you next. First up, we have the Agate. So one thing that I can see here in the Agate, group number 3, is that you're moving back into balance one way or another. So if you've been feeling like your life is in limbo or you're in a way imbalanced, know that that is moving back to your equilibrium, back to center. Next, we have the Appetite. The Appetite, I can see here that, funny enough, how you are going to be moving back into balance is through getting out of your comfort zone. That is what the Appetite stands for. So I do want you to know here that through getting out of your comfort zone, you will be able to find new ways to get back into balance and new things that restore your well-being, both physically as well as mentally. Think of it this way, group number 3. Getting out of your comfort zone could be trying a new diet, a new workout regimen, actually getting uncomfortable during workouts, especially if you're someone who usually likes very gentle workouts. And I'm in the same boat, group number 3. So that's just an example where when going beyond your comfort zone is actually going to help you move into balance, because maybe switching up your diet or a little bit more of an intense workout or just working out at all is exactly what you need to make you feel centered again. But you first have to move yourself out of your comfort zone in order to discover that. Next, we have the Tourmalinated Quartz. Now, group 3, in the Tourmalinated Quartz, I can see here that getting out of your own way is something that you're going to experience. It's going to feel very freeing, very liberating, and in a sense, also completely new to you. So through getting out of your comfort zone, you're getting out of your own way, right? Because you're no more protecting yourself from getting out of your comfort zone. You're just allowing for it to happen. You're just allowing for yourself to be uncomfortable, and you're seeing what comes out of it. And I see that this is something that's really beneficial for you, group 3, and that will launch a lot of favorable big changes into your life sooner than you expected. Next, we have the Filled Chair. So group 3, in the Filled Chair, I see that a big unexpected change is that someone new is entering your life. I want to figure out exactly who this person is. So I'll be using my Gentle Heart Tarot deck for this in order to figure out who is going to fill your chair, group number 3. First up, we have the Devil reversed. So group number 3, this is someone who's tempting you on an intimate level. This is someone who you find really attractive, who you'd like to get to know closer, if you know what I mean. And I do want you to understand here in the Devil that this is not necessarily something negative. It just says that your self-control is a little weaker around this person, that this person is really tempting you to try something new, is really tempting you you to let your guard down and just enjoy being with them. Next, we have the Four of Diamonds reversed. So group number 3 in the Four of Diamonds reversed, I can also see here that rather than feeling uptight about finances and the earthly realms, this person who is filling your chair, this person that we're talking about, this new person who's entering your life and making these big changes, is going to make you feel like you can spend more frivolously and may be a bad influence in the earthly realms, okay, when it comes to your spending habits, group number 3. So if you're not the best at saving money, or you tend to overspend every now and then, it's really great that you're receiving this reading right now, because you can prepare yourself, right? You can ensure that when you go out, when you're spending time with this new person entering your life, that you keep your finances in check. Next, we have the Three of Crystals. So group 3 in the Three of Crystals reversed, I do also see here that the person who is entering your life soon, this new person, has left their past behind and they're ready to embark on a completely new journey. So any ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, just exes in general are a thing of the past and they're no longer hanging on to them. I see here in Judgment that they want to start afresh with you because they feel as though you're someone who is very open-minded and open-hearted, and they no longer want to be judged for their past behavior and for how their past relationships progressed and maybe escalated, so to say, as the breakup did come with a little bit of a back and forth between who owns what types of assets. Next, we have the Eight of Crystals. So in the Eight of Crystals, things are going to move very rapidly with this person, group number 3. I see that the big change that's coming for you with this new person entering your life is just the speed at which everything is moving forward, at which you're getting to know one another, and at which you feel like you're getting intimate with one another. So you're going to be intimate with this person a lot more quickly than you expected or than you're used to, but because it feels right, there's nothing to be afraid of, group number 3. There's nothing to worry about. This is a relationship that is most likely going to serve you in some way, shape, or form. It may not be a twin flame or a soulmate relationship. It may not be your forever partner, but just experiencing a new person entering your life and feeling attracted to them. It can be fun. It can be flirty. It doesn't need to amount into anything crazy or change your life forever. I can see here in the Torch, group number 3, spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, as well as understanding, bringing a lot of change into your life. So in the past, you may have immediately thought of where the future is going to lead with this person. You may have immediately thought of children, of marriage, of moving in with one another, how that they would be as a partner in the long term. But I see here in the Torch that you have evolved past that and you're no longer jumping straight to conclusions or dreaming the future into reality, but rather you just allow for things to develop as they will, and you understand that there's no point in already having big hopes or high hopes for the future, because at the end of the day, you need to be with someone who feels the same way. There's no point in you just having this tense energy of thinking it's going to develop into something big, meanwhile they're somewhere else in their life completely. I see here in the younger man that dealings or a relationship with a younger man is what we have here in conjunction to the devil. So they're maybe not quite ready for a committed relationship. They're maybe not quite in a spot where they can see past flirting, or they know how to handle a real relationship past flirting, and that's okay, because I can see within your reading that you understand what's going on. You understand this mutual attraction, and it's not like they're playing games with your feelings and you're going to be left hurt. The devil showed up reversed, so you're well aware of temptation. You're well aware of what two people who are consenting to, risky or flirty behavior, what that means and where it may lead to. And again, this can also be just platonic flirting with a friend, it's not that deep, group number 3, but at the same time, it's going to be a big, refreshing change for you because you're going to feel a lot more attractive, a lot more wanted. And of course, we don't need people to tell us that we're attractive, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't feel good to get a little bit of attention every now and then on a romantic level by someone who is potentially interested in us. Next, we have the first quarter moon. So in the first quarter moon, I do see here, while this situation is fun, a big change that's coming for you is that you're looking ahead. You're looking to build a future that's filled with relationships that are meaningful and that will be long lasting. You're not here to play games. Group number 3, I can see here in the waning crescent 4 that rather quickly you will release anything that doesn't serve that purpose of building a future upon a strong foundation, as I do see here in the 4 of diamonds reversed. Again, this release in the earthly realms of anything that seems to be a waste of your time or a waste of your resources. Next up, we have the worm moon. So group number 3, a big change that's coming in your life is a pregnancy. It is this very fertile time around you or someone close to you. And I do want you to know here in the worm moon that this is something that is going to not just change the person's life who is directly affected by pregnancy or fertility, but it is definitely also something that's going to change your outlook and teach you a lot about life as well as reproduction as a human being. I can see in the green corn moon that rather than making you feel pressured to go down the same train, to add to your family, or to compare your family and your relationship situation with another person's situation who is going through this fertility struggle or abundance, you feel like, wow, I'm so glad that I'm patient with myself, that I'm giving myself the time, care, rest, everything that I need, because really, group number 3, the best thing for people to do is to have kids or be in relationships because they want to be, not because they're expected to be. That's the worst thing that anyone can do. And I'm sure there are enough children of people out there who just had kids because they were supposed to, or because their community or society pressured them into having kids. And being the child of someone like that is something that is really hard, and where you would maybe wish that your parents would have rethought that. And that's not to say that there are necessarily life-ending thoughts involved in situations like that, but of course, if you have a parent or family members who don't seem to be equipped to give you what you needed, and therefore you experience a lot of trauma growing up, of course you wish that they would have either given themselves more time and patience, or really rethought whether they wanted to add into their family. I can see here in Healing Chaos, group number 3, that this is actually a very chaotic but still healing situation that was unexpected to you. So being confronted with a lot of emotions and being confronted with some of your past traumas is something that feels like, yes, everything is all over the place, but at the same time, it's so healing to be able to look at it from a distance and to experience it with how you've developed spiritually, with this new sense of awareness and understanding and interconnectedness that you have fostered. I see here in protection, group number 3, that because you have put in a lot of work into yourself and into your spiritual path and sense of enlightenment, you are protected from any situations that would otherwise have caused you extra turmoil or more trauma. Because when put in a situation that makes you relive hurtful memories, I do see that you have a lot more patience for it, and you have a lot more room to really ask yourself whether it's worth getting mad, losing your cool, or allowing it to affect you, or whether you choose to be present now. Remind yourself that you can't change what has transpired, but what you can change is how it affects you in the present, and if it even affects you in the present, and drawing that line in the sand, ensuring that none of your past traumas or demons are doing anything to you negatively in the now and moving forward in your future. We have a release. Group 3, 3, the cards are almost speaking for themselves. Do we even need me within this reading? In release, I see here that you will be able to completely let go of the heaviness and of the trauma still affecting you today. Now, yes, you still are going to bring it out every now and then to work on it, to go through it, and to ensure that you're not just swiping it under the rug or that you're ignoring pressing issues that are going on internally, but you're releasing it in any situation that is clearly not appropriate for you to be doing inner work. Like, for example, if you're triggered by another person or you're in a situation that's stressful and making you anxious, that's not the time where you're supposed to be working on your past traumas. You need to then, of course, deal with the issues or the situation at hand. I can see here in patience, group number 3, that last but not least, the universe is reiterating to you, as we spoke about in the green corn moon as well, to be patient with the progress, to be patient with this relationship as well that is here within this younger man, this devil personality. We have a lot of crystals within this part of the reading where we were figuring out who this person is, this new person that's entering your life. They're most likely a fire sign, so think Leo, think Aries, think Sagittarius, and they're still figuring things out. They can be very explosive. They can just say what it is that they're thinking without even considering other people's emotions or what they're going through. But I can see in the green corn moon as well as patience here that a big change and development for you is that you have so much more patience for silliness, for fun, and you don't take it so seriously anymore. You don't allow it to affect you or for you to take it personally to the point where you get hurt over something that you've interpreted as an attack, even though maybe it was just someone being completely silly and also a little bit insensitive. But if you're a very sensitive person, dealing with people who are insensitive can trigger you, it can hurt you, unless you have built patience as well as protection to release any of those comments and that behavior, knowing that it's not something that you need to allow to determine how you feel about yourself, and it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of the person opposite. So group 3, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed this part of your reading. Make sure that you click your zodiac sign. It's listed down below in the description box as well as the comment section, because you know I will go to any length in order to provide you with super personalized and accurate readings. So click that in order to receive the second part of your reading, and I'll catch you over during your zodiac signs prediction. Hello group number 4 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Good Tarot deck as well as the Rose Quartz crystal. Let's do a quick close-up of your stone so we can get acquainted with it and you can get to know the energy and vibration of it. So this is the beautiful Rose Quartz. This is definitely one of my favorites. I'd say this is a staple to have in your home. Let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what big, unexpected news is coming towards you. So first up, we have the Four of Air. So one thing that I can see here in the Four of Air is the fact that you're going to be doing a lot of reflection on a situation that's going to change everything. Next, in the Hierophant, I can see that this situation is a moment where you feel like you've reached enlightenment, like you've reached some sort of spiritual awakening, and you feel interconnected with the unseen. You feel interconnected with the universe, with spirit, and therefore a lot of what's going on in the earthly realms, a lot of superficial things just don't resonate with you any longer, and it's going to be a big change in your mindset, a big shift in your reality, because your old reality no longer applies to your future. I can see here in the 8 of Water, group number 4, that this is going to feel like you're embarking on a long journey, a journey that may even be lonely, a journey that you may have to do by yourself, as other people just don't understand what you're going through. Some people do, but a lot of the people who you've maybe spent a lot of time with in the past years just don't get where you're heading now. That is one thing that I can see in the 8 of water. I see here in the Ace of Air that some people, actually surprisingly many, will listen to where you're headed next. I can see in the Ace of Air that whatever direction that you're moving into next with your beliefs, with your spirituality, just overall in your life, I can see that a lot of people that you've been acquainted and been with for a long time, friends or family members, they will take a genuine interest and they will try to understand. So you will lose some people for fairly early in your journey, and some people will actually stick through it with you and will actually show a genuine interest in where life is headed for you and what's coming next. I can see here in the Fortune's Wheel, group number 4, that ups and downs, of course, that's a normal part of life, but I do also want you to know here in the Fortune's Wheel that this is a rather positive card that shows that you have some amazing luck ahead of you. In conjunction to the Hierophant, I want you to know that any challenges or blockages that you may have on a spiritual plane, on a plane that you are now just exploring, maybe you're also exploring how to become healthier both mentally and physically, I see that any of those blockages will be able to be worked out because you're so open-minded to new ideas, new beliefs, as well as new practices. So meditation, journaling, tarot cards, oracle cards, whatever it is that works for you, right? And I see that you're just open to whatever feels good. And that makes any trials and tribulations so much more easy to get through, because rather than trying to find out what looks good or how you can solve the problem coming out the other end looking a certain way, upkeeping an image, you're unafraid to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty, or spiritually go to a really dark, dingy place where maybe you cry, maybe you feel lost. You're letting it all out regardless of what that may look like, because you know that this is something that's healing and something that needs to be released. I can see here in the Waning Gibbous 6, group number 4, that you are most likely an old soul, or a lot of people call you an old soul because you are wise beyond your years. And I see that a big change that's coming for you is that you're connecting with others who are the exact same. I see that in conjunction to the Ace of Air. You're connecting with other people who think outside of the box and others who are open to alternative ways of living. I see here in the Thunder Moon that it's really going to be like strong rain showers. It's going to change from one day to the next, feeling a little lonely. That's one thing that I see here in the Four of Air, feeling a little lonely, secluded, thoughtful, and alone, to all of a sudden feeling like you have a lot of new connections and a lot of people who you can have these exchanges with, talking about the cosmos, the universe, yoga, journaling, veganism, spirituality. I mean, whatever it is that you're into that you feel has connected you and is creating a more alternative lifestyle that is healthier. I can see that change is coming in a sense that allows you to share your thoughts and your wisdom with like-minded people. I can see here in the Knot, group number 4, that some plans along the way are going to be unsuccessful, and that's going to create big changes. So if you had this plan to go from point A to point B, but all of a sudden there's this roadblock, right? There's this knot. There are unsuccessful plans that do not go through the way you need them to. Instead of going from A to B directly across, you may have to go from A to C and then to B, right? You might have to do a little detour, a little pit stop, if you will, to teach you something along the way. That's often how the universe brings in some new experiences, by taking you on a detour and seeing how you react to it. I can see here in the Fox that is most likely exactly what happens to you. Fox stands for shrewdness, resourcefulness, especially in business. So going through a difficult time in your career or your finances, or just feeling like they're not taking off as much as you expected them to is only going to cause for you to become more resourceful and for you to find more creative ways to create more earthly abundance, to create the money that you need. And I see here in the harp that this will give you so much more of a sense of satisfaction than if you had just gotten everything handed to you, because now you know that you had to be smart, you had to be on the ball, and you somehow found a way to prevail even through plans that initially seemed to be unsuccessful. I see here in the door, group number 4, opportunities are waiting for you. These opportunities are simply there, lying dormant, waiting for you to walk through the door. But first you need to reach the door and open it. And I do see here in the cane that the most important thing for you to pay attention to in order to get to the door is changes in your health, or not spotting changes in your health. Now, let me explain that to you, group number 4. If you, for example, keep putting off doctor's visits, be it going to the dentist, going to your general health practitioner, going to do blood work and just regular checkups that you know you're overdue with, you may miss important changes to your health. You may miss paying attention, which will slow down your pursuit for these new opportunities, because you will slowly start to realize that you're not feeling your best and that you probably should have given yourself the time and self-care earlier on and not neglected yourself. So that is where I can see here in the cane that group 4, you're being called to wake up and to not neglect yourself, to not cause this type of self-harm that can slowly deteriorate you. Because if you're, for example, missing a simple nutrient like vitamin B12, that's something that a lot of us don't have enough of, or vitamin D that comes from the sun. If you don't go out in the sun very often, or your body just doesn't properly know how to absorb it, you have to take supplements, and without those supplements you will have brittle bones. And if you don't go for health checkups, you won't know. You'll just slowly but surely start to decline and feel more sluggish until you have maybe caused irreparable damage to your body. So group 4, this is just an example, okay? So what I'm trying to get to is that you have to pay attention to your health, not just by checking in every single day and saying, okay, how do I feel today? Do I feel good? But also by picking up the phone, picking up your laptop, writing those emails, or making those phone calls to book yourself in for the appointments that you know will serve your health in the long run. Next, we have the 8 of Wands. So this is especially conflicting if you don't like being on the phone, if you don't like making phone calls, and I am just like that, group number 4. I do not like to make phone calls. I do not like to be on the phone, especially with strangers or people who I don't really know. So that is where I can see some fear. But in the moon, group number 4, you intuitively know that the unicorn mom is right about that, and that right after watching this reading, it would definitely be beneficial for you to just overcome the fear, the internal friction, the anxiety. Go for the checkup, because you'll feel so much better knowing that everything is okay, or that you, for example, seen any vitamins or minerals that you're lacking early on before it causes any serious health implications. I see here in the Queen of Coins that spending that extra money, spending that extra coin on your health, group number 4, is essential right now, and it will make a really big change for you in your motivation as well as your love and appreciation for yourself. Because if you're cheaping out on your health, there are some deep-rooted, deep-seated knots, if you will, that you have to work through to loving yourself. As I see here in Justice, that group 4, one thing that you need to hear and that you need to motivate you to make your big changes, because a lot of your big changes aren't just things that are coming, you have to induce them, is to remind yourself that you deserve to go take care of yourself just as much as any other person. You deserve it just as much as that celebrity that you look up to, as that spiritual leader that you admire, or as your parent who you maybe care for a lot and you'd never let them miss an appointment at their doctor's office. So sometimes we don't have people who look out for us that much. We don't have people who are able to put us first sometimes. That is the unfortunate reality, but you know, narcissism is real, especially in a lot of family situations. So that is where you have to remind yourself that you have to at least take as much time and care for yourself as you do for others. Because in the long run, if your health is in a situation where you're not taking care of it, you're going to regret it. So the universe is really trying to push you to take more care of yourself, group number 4. And the universe knows that this is something that is going to bring you great happiness, as we discussed in the harp, and that's going to just make you feel so much better about life, yourself, moving forward, and overall the change that it's going to have for you mentally is just, it is big, group number 4, trust me. So take more care of yourself. Feel free to let me know how that worked out for you. You can write me a message on Instagram, or you can leave a comment on this YouTube video. Next up, we have leadership. Yes, group 4, you have to take the lead on this. No one else can take better care of you than you can, okay? Nobody else can make those appointments. Nobody else can book you in for a massage, a facial, or just for some alone time with just you and your favorite things. It could be a hobby. It could be a movie, it could be an amazing book. Take the lead of making your changes, because your changes need to be induced by you, group number 4. I can see here in flow that once you get into the habit and the flow, you really get used to things and you become attached to them emotionally, group number 4. So attach yourself emotionally to good habits, to positive habits, especially those that help your health and your mental and physical well-being in the long run, as I can see that you need to pay a little bit more attention to that right now. I do see here in release, group number 4, that a big change that is coming for you as well is to release the fear of being selfish. Release the fear of feeling like there is an imbalance between what you're doing for yourself and what you're supposed to do for yourself, what others are doing for themselves. Just completely forget about that. Forget about what others are doing. Forget about what seems like it's too much. If it feels good for you to put 3 face masks on every single day, then that is a worthwhile investment, group number 4. And that is something that you should give yourself. Why not? You only have one life. You only have one existence in this physical body. Treat it like the beautiful temple that it is. Protect it. Take care of it. Show it that it means something, because this is your vessel, this is your vehicle that you use to do life, to get around. Next, we have openness. So group 4, in openness, I do see that a big change that's coming towards you is that the more you care for yourself and the more you care for your physical health, the more open that you become to understanding that not everybody is this fortunate. Some people deal with conditions physically that are irreversible or seemingly irreversible, and they have to live with very difficult health conditions for the foreseeable future, and they wish they had the opportunity to take better care of themselves the way you can. I see here in purity, group number 4, that this is coming from a place of you genuinely just wanting to ensure that you're getting everything done. That's why you're concerned, group 4. You are a very genuine person, you're a very pure soul, and a very wise one at that. So you not wanting to invest too much time just in yourself or too many resources comes from a very selfless place. And I can see here in simplicity that when you're overthinking things, group 4, the best way to make that change and to move into the motion of taking care of yourself, of doing more things for you, of being able to open this door of opportunity, is to simplify things. If something makes you happy, that's all that matters. If you feel like something will not have an impact on your life in 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 years, don't stress about it now. If someone does something to you that you know is not going to have a lasting impact on your life, let it go. Don't take it personally. Don't absorb any type of energy that doesn't matter, quite frankly speaking. Keep it super simple. Group number 4, kiss. Group number 4, kiss it. Keep it super simple. I love that abbreviation. So I do want you to know, group number 4, that this is the first part of the reading that I received for you, and I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Make sure that you check out your zodiac signs reading as well. All the signs are listed below in the description box. Each zodiac sign has its very own personal prediction on the big changes that are coming. Check that out down below in the description box, and I'll catch you over during your zodiac signs reading. Hello, all my beautiful Aries babies, and welcome to your prediction on what big changes are coming next for you. So I'm going to get straight into your reading. All you need to do is lean back, relax, and enjoy this highly personalized part of your tarot card prediction. First and foremost, we have environmentalist. So all of my beautiful Aries babies, I can see here that you're an earth angel who is born to protect, nurture, and teach about nature and the animals. So all my beautiful Aries babies, it seems that you are going to be interconnected with animals as well as the nature, and this is something that is going to change your life deeply and profoundly. Next up, we have the supermoon. So in the supermoon, I can see here that you have a natural attraction to animals or the nature, and these are just different parts of living, of life that you've always wanted to explore more of. And I can definitely see here in the supermoon that you're gathering the energy, the resources, the time, the know-how to live this dream sooner rather than later, of dedicating more of your energy and your time to causes that really matter to you. I can see here in the hot moon that it feels like living between two extremes for you, all my beautiful Aries. On one hand, you live this life that is affected by technology, by modern technology, social media, and all of the fabricated things that are on social media. And then on the other hand, you also have a side to you that is very pure, that is very wholesome, that is very vulnerable, and also really into the nature and everything that is real, everything that is not photoshopped. So it's almost like living in limbo. And I do see in the supermoon that your attraction to realness is going to take over and win and create lots of big changes in your life. I can see here in the last quarter moon that you will find yourself feeling very grateful for both sides of the spectrum. So you understand that you had to go through certain phases in your life where maybe superficial things concerned you more and you had more insecurities in order to come to a place of deeper wisdom, interconnectedness with things that feel real to you and have depth to you, and that it's all just one big journey. And there's no point in you judging yourself for the journey that you took, the path that you took, and the interests that you had at an earlier stage in your life. Just appreciate them. Know that that time was an essential part of your path, because you wouldn't be who you are today or where you are today if it wasn't for you embarking on different little side streets that now led to this path that is more meaningful. Next up, we have the 8 of Coins. Nevertheless, all of my beautiful Aries babies, your finances and your career, that's all important to you. And I can see here in the 8 of Coins that a big change that's coming for you is how you realize that the more you're in alignment with things that speak to you on a deeper level, the easier it is for you to lead a life where your career comes easily and grows easily. Next up, we have the Queen of Coins. So you're really bossing up, all of my beautiful Aries. You're really taking matters into your own hands, and you're understanding that nothing comes easy, but at the same time, like you have what it takes to make changes to your career and your finances that make you feel more secure and make you feel like you can put more of your energy and effort into meaningful causes that don't necessarily have anything to do with money. Next up in the Wheel of Fortune, I can see that at the beginning it may seem hard. It may seem like there are a lot of challenges here in creating a work-life balance that gives you enough time for other things. It gives you enough opportunity to live your best life. But after a while, you will find a routine and you will find a way to overcome difficulties and also to have like a loyal system that works for you. And with a loyal system that works for you, I mean morning routines, midday routines, evening routines that can give you support and security. I can see here in the Chariot that a big change is the pace at which you're moving forward. So the pace is picking up. You're picking up on speed, all of my beautiful Aries, and this is something that you're not used to this extent. So hold on tightly, all my beautiful Aries, because you're in for a very fast-paced ride moving forward. Let's see what else we have for you. Next, we have the Six of Air. So in the Six of Air, we have again this fast pace. You've set your sails towards a goal and the wind is truly just pushing you forward a lot more quickly than you expected. And in the Six of Air, you're moving from a place where moving forward may have been difficult or you were complacent for a long time to all of a sudden, you know, things are working rapidly in your favor. Yes, there may be some speed bumps in the road, but you kind of flatten those out pretty quickly as you go. I see here in the Empress a big change also being an increase in fertility, maybe your drive to be intimate with another person, and just overall really feeling yourself, feeling your body, feeling like it is the beautiful temple that it is, and not being ashamed of what's normal, such as body hair, such as body odors, such as different textures on your skin, and aging, you know, just overall your body changing and fluctuating, appreciating it for what it is. I see here in the Ten of Earth that fulfillment is a big change that comes to you because of this. So because you're not judging your body so harshly anymore, and because you're kind of just really grateful and thankful for the fact that your body can even take fluctuations. Your body feels that, your entire environment feels that, and this causes for you to be in harmony professionally, as well as when it comes to your work-life balance and the time that you have to invest in the things that you love. I see here in the Ten of Earth that it's just overall an amazing situation that's coming next as a change for you. I can see here in the Vulture, all of my beautiful Aries, that worry that someone is against you is something that is causing some anxiety. And this anxiety and tension may force you to take some turns that you didn't intend on taking. So, you know, for example, during a work project, a school project, just overall something that you're doing, and you're worried that another person will be jealous or may try to ruin it for you, or may try to kind of expose you in a way that would make you uncomfortable. So you never end up writing that blog or posting that video on YouTube or embarking on this new journey, this new project at work and taking the lead because you're afraid that someone may do something to embarrass you or stop you in your roles. So that is one thing that I can see here in the Vulture that the universe is trying to call out to you and talk to you about. I can see here in the Money path that a path with money is waiting for you to find it, but you won't be able to if you're too worried about the vultures or about the people who might want something from you once you embark on this money path. But it is present for you, all of my beautiful Aries, and that is something really positive for you to celebrate and for you to understand that you can allow yourself to be on this money path. You can strap on your boots and walk down the money path, but you have to be unafraid of vultures kind of like circling the path and waiting for their chance to have a little taste of your success, or their chance to do something that would harm you. It is inevitably a part of life that nothing is guaranteed or promised. So learn to live with the unexpected, being other people and what they may do to try to get in your way, as you can't control them. Next, we have the selenite. So in the selenite, clearing out clutter is one thing that I see next for you. And by clearing out clutter, clearing out things that are stopping you from your money path, maybe also these vultures and the nests that they may have created around you. And in the shungite, I see that this helps you to detox your life and also understand that your body or your life is not something that has ever been in need of detoxification, but sometimes without knowing, us humans, we can add a lot of extra toxicity through people, through substances into our bodies, and then all of a sudden we do need a detox. But by default, we don't need detox products, teas, anything like that, cleanses. All of that isn't necessary if you're taking proper care of your body. I see here in the chrysoprase, all my beautiful Aries babies, that a big change that's coming for you is receiving, is being on this money path, being on this path of abundance, and also in the tiger's eye, overcoming your fear that someone may take it away from you. So I do see for you, all of my beautiful Aries, that there is this sense of self-sabotage that is sometimes present because you have a fear of success, because you're afraid that once you have the success, people may treat you differently, people may look at you differently, may think of you differently, or may even start to demand more things from you, which is why you have gotten in the way subconsciously of your success in the past, because you don't want to have to deal with that. But big changes are coming for you, all of my Aries, and you're able to change that, to rectify that, and to move on with your money path. So leave a money bag emoji down below, all my beautiful Aries babies, as a token of amazing luck. Feel free to check out the rest of your birth chart. After all, I do have predictions for each and every zodiac sign. I would like to thank you for sharing this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Taurus babies, and welcome to your reading. So let's move into it so we can figure out exactly what big changes are coming next for you, shall we? First and foremost, we have oracle cards. So you're going to get some new oracle cards, all my beautiful Taurus babies. That is one thing that I can see coming next, and they're going to help you with your divine guidance and in order to help you discern answers for yourself and others, because oracle cards can be a great tool to help you make decisions as well as to give you insight into different viewpoints and aspects that you wouldn't have considered otherwise. Also, all my Taurus babies, I have not yet made this public, so this is just something that I'm going to tell you in your reading because you received the oracle cards card. I do have some oracle and tarot card boards in my online store. I'll link it down below, that help you use oracle and tarot cards if you're a beginner. I designed these boards from scratch and came up with the idea all on my own because I wanted to help you guys be able to use tarot and oracle cards without fear of not knowing how to lay them and how to interpret them. So there's a little guide booklet that comes with these boards, as well as the board itself where you can lay the tarot and oracle cards on in order to create readings. So I'll leave all of that down below, but I want to continue into your reading. Next up, we have environmentalist. So all of my beautiful Taurus babies, I can see here that you are an earth angel. Well, that really fits well because you are an earth sign, but you're also someone who was born to protect, nurture, and teach about nature and the animals. So I can see here that a big change that's coming for you is being able to lean further into that environmentalist streak within yourself, as well as possibly make that a reason for a career change. So if right now you're working for a company or you're working with people who don't care about the environment or don't have their environmental thoughts and practices in check, you are going to leave that job because it just doesn't resonate with your values, your morals, your integrity. I see in career change that you're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance that you desire and deserve. And that, of course, only works when you're in alignment with your core values, which have a lot to do with the earth, with taking care of animals, and overall the environment. Wow, animals. Next up, all of my beautiful Taurus babies. Could it be that more often than not you like animals better than human beings? Could it be that you look at other humans and you're like, oh, if only you were a dog or a cat, we would get along so much better. I can see here in animals that you understand them intuitively, you know how to communicate with them, and I can see that they are a part of your guidance. They're a part of your life's work, and that goes together beautifully with your environmentalist streak and you wanting to do something with the planet to also help save and conserve habitats for animals. Next up, we have the cup. So all of my beautiful Taurus babies, as a Taurus, you can be a little stubborn, but I can see here in the cup that what's going to change is that you'll be able to take on board more criticism than you ever have in the past, and also discern between what is criticism that's basically just like stupid comments from someone who's trying to rile you up, and what type of criticism is fair criticism that will actually serve you or will actually allow for you to grow. Next, we have the eagle. So in the eagle, I can see triumph over troubles and obstacles. In the eagle, I can see here that taking on board criticism, not taking criticism personally, and also understanding when people are just trying to rile you up, that is going to allow you to triumph over any difficult situation. And I see in the key next up that there is a big successful outcome to any issue that you have ahead. All of my Tauruses, this is an amazing sign. This is an amazing foreshadowing of what's to come next, of the big changes. It seems like there will be a lot of successful outcomes that you get to celebrate. I can see in the target that your goal-oriented nature and streak is going to pay off tenfold. And in conjunction to the key, any goal that you set, any target that you set out is going to be reached in a matter of time. So I look forward to reading all of your success stories, all my beautiful Taurus babies. Next up, we have the Rhodonite. So in the Rhodonite, I can see you finding a way to forgive people who have wronged you, people who have made you feel inferior, and also people who have purposely put obstacles in your way. You're forgiving them fully. I can see here in the Iolite that shifting your money mindset is something that comes as a result, because you're no longer focused on anything petty. You're 100% just focused on your goals, and quite frankly speaking, you don't have time for any games. So it's easy for you to forgive and move on because you're focused on other things in your life right now. But let's move further into your reading, shall we? Oh, okay, we have a card that popped right out of the pile. The Eight of Air. So all of my beautiful Tauruses in the Eight of Air, I can see here some relief, some mental relief from things that have been causing you a lot of anxiety as well as fear. So you finding a way to truly manage these things, maybe through therapy, speaking to someone, or just overall finding different building blocks to create a great routine in your daily life that can give you comfort as well as the support and reassurance that you need in order to remain calm. I can see here in the King of Fire that actually moving from a place where you are rather impulsive, impatient, maybe a little quick-tempered, to actually being more calm, placid, reliable. I can definitely see here in the King of Fire that you're embracing that deep, mature Taurus way. And I do see in the King of Fire also that a big change that's coming for you is how others look up to you and listen to you. So it may be that you've been warning others of something for a long time and they never listen to you. But the day comes where it's very clear that you were right all along, and they just simply have to, quote unquote, bow down phone to you and say, hey, I'm sorry that I doubted your words and your intuition, but you are in fact right. So that is one thing that I can see here in the King of Fire, and it's going to come with a sense of satisfaction, and this is definitely going to be a big change for you compared to what you're used to. Next up, we have the Queen of Fire. So in the Queen of Fire, I definitely see that you're not going to become cocky about your growth as a person and becoming more of an authority figure in your community as well as your family. I can see in the Queen of Fire that you're committed to nurturing others to becoming the best version of themselves as well. And in the Queen of Air, you're doing so through communication, through being honest, through letting others know exactly how you grew, how you were able to grow in wisdom, because as you can see here, the Queen of Air has the owl with her, which is an amazing animal, a totem animal, almost a symbol for wisdom and knowledge. So this is an amazing growth curve and just growth journey for you, all my beautiful Taurus babies. And last but not least, in the Empress, I can see here that a big change that's coming is the topic around fertility, your own family, the dynamic, and the potential to add to your family, to add other family members in, be it human family members, animal family members. I can see here in the Empress that this is a topic that comes up, and surrounding the Queen of Air as well as the Queen of Fire, which is very nurturing type of energy, I can see here in the Empress that this is definitely something that allows for you to feel like, hey, I am ready to take care of others, but I also know that I want to pick the moment that is right for me, and I still have some glowing up to do, or I still have some work to do before I commit to growing my own family personally. So I definitely see here within the Empress that putting yourself first and understanding that in order to be a good leader or a good parent, you first need to be in a good place with yourself rather than feeling pressured to rush into it and then not really wanting it, and your child, your pet, whoever you are taking care of, whoever depends on you, has to then pay for you having made an impulsive, hasty decision that was maybe interfered with by other family members, by the community, and you just felt pressured to move into. So that is one thing that I can see here, that you're no longer allowing yourself to be subjected to, and that you're taking the reins into your own hands. You're taking the matters into your own hands. So all of my beautiful Taurus babies, this is a reading that I received for you, and I really hope that you enjoyed this zodiac-based prediction. Leave a little owl emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you in fact did make it to the end of your zodiac prediction as well, because if you know, you know. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time with me, and know that I appreciate you, and I'm sending you so much love, and I'll catch you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful Gemini babies of the world, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to figure out exactly what big changes are coming for your sign specifically. Let's move into it, shall we? First up, we have the crib. So all my Gemini babies, in the crib, I can see a birth or conception of a child or enterprise. So if you do not want a child, all my beautiful Geminis, fear not, because the crib also stands for the birth or conception of an enterprise, of a business idea. You starting a business venture, starting a legacy for yourself that may be passed down to future generations. I can see here in the handshake that a meeting with a stranger is going to be important in conjunction to the crib, all of my beautiful Gemini babies. So in conjunction to the crib, if you are single, I want you to know that the handshake symbolizes meeting the person who you're going to have your child with, if this is something that you're looking to do. But you are, of course, in control of your own life, all my beautiful Geminis, so don't feel like the birth or conception of a child has to be the case in this card, because if we are going down the enterprise route, then a meeting with a stranger an occurrence with a stranger is going to inspire you and make all of the difference that you need in order for you to have the confidence to start your own thing, to start your own big next venture. So this handshake can of course also be in form of a podcast or interview where someone inspired you to try something out by yourself. And I can see here in the fly that it inspires you to be uplifted from a period of ill health as well as depression. So think someone like Dr. Joe Dispenza, think someone who inspires you to get well, even if you're dealing with mentally very tough situations such as depression, such as anxiety, such as an ED, or you're really going through a tough time professionally. Just having someone to look up to, someone who inspires you, makes all of the difference. And that is one thing that I see here in the handshake, that this meeting with a stranger is what will inspire you and remind you of your capabilities. Next, we have the full moon. So you're harnessing all your powers, my beautiful Geminis. You're harnessing everything that you're made of. So I can see here in the full moon that your power is increasing. And this is a big change because maybe in the past, a period of ill health, depression, anxiety may have held you back or may have made you too insecure to actually start a family or to start a business enterprise. But I can see that the stranger and a meeting with them, a meeting with their words, completely changes your outlook. And I can see in the waxing gibbous 5 that you're focused. You're completely in tune with what you want. You're completely focused on what we spoke about here in the crib with the birth or conception of a child or enterprise. And that is where all of your energy is moving towards. I can see in the waxing crescent 3 that this is going to result in a lot of growth for you, all of my beautiful Geminis. So this is of course what you wanted. So you're going to accomplish your goal through focusing and through using all of your personal power in order to grow, in order to succeed. And overall, this is a really great progression that you're going through, really. I can see here in sensitivity that you're becoming more sensitive and need to make changes accordingly. Sensitivity increasing is something that you're going to want to look out for in your day-to-day dealings, my beautiful Geminis, because the more sensitive you become, the less BS you can stand, okay? The more sensitive that you become to your needs as well, the more you will realize that there may have been a lot of things in your life that weren't serving you or harnessing your full moon potential, your full moon power the way they could. I can see here that crystals are a great way for you to connect. They are a great way for you to channel healing energy, and that is where your sensitivity also is triggered. So allow yourself to surround yourself by crystals. Purchase crystals. Crystals are an amazing investment because they don't really go bad, do they? You can keep them forever, you can pass them down, you can re-gift them, so they really hold their value. I mean, after all, they are a crystal, they are a rock, a raw mineral. So I do want you to know here in crystals that your connection to crystals is definitely your channel for healing, so embrace more of that. And in travel, I can see that you may travel far in order to receive these crystals, in order to get these crystals, and that traveling is also a part of your life purpose. But also keep in mind here that travel and connectivity to sensitivity as well as the crystals could also mean that crystals are coming from far away to you. The crystals are coming from a place somewhere on this planet that isn't close to your hometown or where you live, and they're traveling all that way just to be with you. I can see here in travel as well as growth that the more you travel and you allow your career enterprise to bring you to different corners of the earth, the more you will feel as though you're growing as a human being as well. I can see here in the voodoo in blue that you are definitely inclined to tell people to back off. So you may be in a very spicy mood, all of my Gemini babies. You may feel a little bit quick-tempered. That's a change that's coming for you, and you're going to be very direct and quick about that. Next, we have the Grumpy Red Fairy. So in the Grumpy Red Fairy, I can definitely see that any sense of discomfort that you have around someone, especially if you just meet them, is going to result in you feeling like you just want to tell them to back off, to take a step away, because I do see in the Grumpy Red Fairy that discomfort is not something that you're wanting to continue to accept or embrace, because you're wanting to be true to yourself now, especially if you've hidden in the shadows for a long time, or you felt like being true to yourself wasn't embraced or accepted in the past. It's all love, my beautiful Geminis. That's a big change that's coming for you. In conjunction to the crib, I definitely want you to know that romantic love is a possibility as well, and to look out for that. Furthermore, well, last but not least, we have power, which goes together beautifully with what we spoke about in the full moon. It's like a reiteration from the universe that your power is something that is increasing. Your power is something that can be harnessed, especially during full moons as well. So create a little full moon ritual, all my beautiful Gemini babies, in order to honor yourself and bring your power back. Take your personal power back and use that power in order to focus on what matters most to you. So all my beautiful Gemini babies, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little globe emoji down below in the comment section to let me and your fellow Gemini brothers and sisters know that you were here. Thank you for spending this divine time with me, and I'll catch you during another one of my readings. Hello, all of my fellow Cancerian brothers and sisters, people of this world. Welcome to your reading, where we're going to find out exactly what big unexpected changes are coming next for you. Let's move straight into it. We have letting go. So all of my beautiful Cancerians, in letting go, I can see you walking away from a situation in order to resolve it. And I want to see exactly what this situation is about and who this situation involves and why it's going to change so much in your life. We have the Four of Air. So I can see in the Four of Air that there is a situation that has been making you feel lonely and isolated for a long time. And it is true. You truly can be in a room full of people and still feel alone. You can be surrounded by people you're related to and still feel like nobody understands you, gets you, or is truly close to you. And that is one thing that I can see in conjunction to letting go that you are walking away from. I can see in the Two of Air that to you, it's basically making a big decision where you're asking yourself, okay, well, what do I want and what's expected of me, and what's more important for me to fulfill? Do I want to fulfill expectations that other people have? Do I want to fulfill expectations that society has towards me? Or do I want to fulfill myself and make myself feel worthy and valued and never spend another day in an uncomfortable position if I can help it? That is one thing that I can see that's going through your mind, all of my beautiful Cancerians, and that you feel really sensitive about moving forward. So big changes are happening in areas of your life where there is this extra sensitivity and where it seems like wounds have been reopened over and over again, ripped open by people who you now are letting go of. I can see in the moon that you're going to do so intuitively as a Cancerian. The moon has a special connection to you anyways. It is your planet. So I want you to know here in the moon that acting intuitively is also what the Two of Air asks you to do, and following your gut feeling on situations that you feel kind of need to be adjusted and changed is the right thing for you to do. I can see here in the Five of Air Wow, we have a lot of air, my beautiful Cancerians. We have the 5 of air, the 2 of air, and the 4 of air. And the element of air connects to the realm of communication. It's all about that Libra, that Aquarius and Gemini energy that brings out a very fierce communicator within you, someone who is very direct and honest. That's one thing that I can see in the 5 of air, but it's working out for you, and you're not going to feel any sense of regret for speaking up for yourself and for making necessary big changes within your life. I can see here in the 4 of crystals that even those closest to you, even a partner or a potential lover, is going to have to prove that they're worthy of being in your life, prove that they're worthy of having a space in your existence. As I can see here in the 3 of Swords, that the next big changes that are coming for you have a lot to do with your inner world, your inner being, and your thoughts about your life. We have so much air, so many air signs within your reading. The 3 of Swords again connects to the element of air, and aside from that, the 4 of crystals connects to the element of fire, but that is really the only card that we have within the reading that isn't an air card so far from a tarot deck. So we do have the Let Go card within your reading, and I definitely want you to understand that walking away and releasing can seem very daunting and painful. We have the 3, the 2, the 4, the 5, as well as the 4 again. So do know here that numbers that are rather lower indicate that letting go puts you at the beginning or closer to the beginning of your journey, and there's still lots more to come within these next weeks and months for you. So this is just the start. I can see in the Hierophant reversed that when it comes to understanding how interconnected that you are with the universe and with other people, that's definitely going to make you question why it's even necessary to walk away from situations in order to resolve it. But I can see here in the 2 of Diamonds that you then understand that, of course, there are some people who practice love, who practice unconditional love, and who find it important to ensure that the situation is comfortable for everyone involved. But at the same time, there are also a lot of people who don't do that. There are also a lot of people who only care about themselves, how they're feeling in a situation, and they will disregard other people's feelings and emotions. And those are the types of people that you're learning to see, to already notice their traits, to already understand who is this type of person, and who in your life maybe has some traits of narcissism that really prevents them from reciprocity, from understanding what you need, giving you what you need, and treating you in a way that is mutually beneficial and respectful. I do see here in the Lady with a Bosch egg, all my beautiful Cancerians, that you're coming from a place of ancient wisdom. This is a portal that you are able to access and tune into, the portal of your ancient wisdom. So if you are in fact someone who has a connection to very ancient civilizations, if your lineage goes back to people who practiced a lot of these ancient rituals that helped them navigate life and their existence on this planet way before you and I even came to be, then do know here in the Lady with a Bosch egg that reliving or reviving some of those practices may be super helpful, and you may find yourself feeling super in tune with your being. Next, we have Mend a Broken Heart Fairy. In the Mend a Broken Heart Fairy, I see you healing from heartache, healing from a broken heart situation. So if you have been going through that, or you still have bitter, unresolved feelings towards an ex, and that doesn't even need to mean that you are angry or anything, but just when you think of them, you're still not ready to see them with another person, that will still somehow get under your skin and bother you, even though you've mostly moved on. I can definitely see here in the Mend a Broken Heart Fairy that this is a change that's coming for you, feeling completely distanced emotionally from people who you used to be close to. And I can see in the harp that this is bringing you great happiness, because now you're no longer attached in a strange way to an ex or someone who you used to be with, but you are completely free, completely able to live your life without thinking about them and without worrying about what they're going through or who they're with. So this is one thing that I see as very favorable for you. Next, we have the broken bridge. So in the broken bridge, I do see that something is going to be a little problematic moving forward with this change. There may be an unsuccessful outcome when it comes to distancing yourself from certain people. As I can see here in the hammock, that you're going to need to just take a vacation and physically or mentally check out. So some people are not going to be okay with you walking away from a situation, especially people who like to argue, quarrel, and fight. So that is where just mentally you need to learn to check out, so you don't end up arguing or fighting with that person and giving them exactly what they want. Next up, we have the haystack. Know here that karma is at play and you'll reap what you have sown. So walking away from a situation rather than involving yourself in an argument or in some sort of little squabble is going to ensure good karma for you, my beautiful Cancer babies. And someone else's actions, someone else's way of dealing with things, no matter how toxic, that is their fate. That is their karma. The only karma that you control is yours. And you know what's up. You have the information. You know what's coming towards you. So deal with it accordingly and deal with it in a very elegant way while following your true north and your intuition. So all of my beautiful Cancer babies, this is the reading that I received for you. Thank you so much for being a part of this reading. I'll leave a crab emoji in the comment section. And of course, feel free to check out the rest of your birth chart using this video. And I'll catch you during another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Leo babies, and welcome to your reading about the next big unexpected changes that are coming towards you. So let's figure out exactly what these changes entail, shall we? First up, we have the selenite, clearing out clutter. So you're getting rid of things that you don't need. You're clearing out your space and just cleaning, okay? You're going to catch the cleaning bug, all my beautiful Leos, which out of any bugs that you could catch, the cleaning bug is really the best, most favorable one. I can see here the lapis lazuli, that you're making a decision to clear out clutter and keep clutter away, keep yourself protected. That's one thing that I can see with the selenite connected to the lapis lazuli. We have the unakite next up. In the unakite, I want you to understand that you find that living in the now is something that comes more easily. That is a change that's coming towards you through removing clutter and other distractions. So the less distracted you are, the more you're able to notice and see yourself from a distance. So it's almost like, yes, you're in your physical body, but at the same time, just think of yourself being like on the ceiling of the room that you're in and looking at yourself watching this video right now. So you being able to not be of this world, but to be in the world, that is one thing that I can see you being capable of doing, to remove yourself from emotions from a current situation and kind of see the big picture. I can see in the Iolite that shifting your money mindset is a big change that's coming for you, all my beautiful Leo babies, which is going to cause you to make more decisions more rapidly, because you're no longer waiting for other people when it comes to your money game. Okay, you're taking matters into your own hands. I can see here in the Page of Waters that this is going to cause a ripple effect within your life of new experiences and emotions. I can see in the Page of Water that there will be lots of emotions that are going to surface that you didn't know were deep within you. Lots of maybe even past trauma around money and abundance that you will have to work through in order to level up. But I can see in the moon that following your intuition and following what feels right when it comes to money matters is always the best thing for you to do. And it is going to lead you to a place that you're happy with, rather than trying to think rationally and convey rational actions, convey rational messages. That's not going to work for you. Go with whatever feels right. I can see in the Hanged Man, all of my beautiful Leos, that in a sense, getting uncomfortable definitely makes you wish that you could just stay stagnant. I can see that putting in a lot of work in your career, into your money mindset, shifting your money mindset, optimizing it. I can definitely see in conjunction to the Hanged Man that there will be a lot of days where you just want to lay in bed the whole day, where you don't even want to get out of bed. But it is definitely also important for you to remind yourself that when there is discomfort, there's clearly something that's hit a nerve, and it's clearly worth investigating. I can see here in the 3 witchy sisters that there is a power of 3 that is at play in your life right now. So we do have the number 9 as well. The number 333 as well as 999. Those are numbers that you should be looking out for, my beautiful Leos, because these are synchronicities. These are numbers that are leading the way for you. I can see in the Eclipse Mermaid that a powerful energy shift is at play in your life right now. Looking out for the numbers 333 and 999 can also help you to see this energy shift, can help you to see what is changing in your life and what new direction that you're embarking on, what new mindset that you're able to pursue. Okay, we have 2 cards that popped right out of the pile, which is change as well as new beginnings. So it's very clear that for you, all of my beautiful Leos, there are big changes that are coming, and these big changes are going to enforce a new beginning. They're going to bring a new beginning into your life financially. It's going to cause for you to have new chances to build your existence, to change your life, and to optimize your life in a way that you feel truly suits you and your needs moving into the future. So you're not going to have to overthink situations anymore, and you can be content with the new direction that you're moving into. Next, we have the sunrise. So I can see in the sunrise that the changes, the big unexpected changes that are coming for you, is that your money mindset, making money, your earthly abundance is strongly connected to how creative you can be, how creative you're allowed to be in your work, but also your personal life. And this fresh start, these new ventures are all going to be fueled by your creativity. And in order to be creative, in order to be able to express your creativity, that means that you're making enough time for self-care. You've cleared out clutter, so now you have space to embark on your new creative journey and do creative projects. So it is really a ripple effect of goodness. I can see here in the dog that protection from a powerful friend is always with you. And this is a big change because you may have felt alone in this world. You may have felt like you're not 100% sure who you can truly count on, but I definitely see in the dog that there's someone who's going to prove to be an amazing friend, acquaintance, person, human being who's in your corner. In the owl, I see good advice from a wise person, and good advice from a wise person, think grandparent or parent, but we are not all fortunate enough to have grandparents or parents or just people who are older than us and can give us great advice. So that is where I can see here in the owl that this advice is something that can also come from a book, a podcast, an interview, a documentary with someone who is successful, with a wise person. Then last but not least, all my beautiful Leos, we have the ladder and you climbing towards success. So this is an amazing outcome. This is an amazing thing to receive as a final verdict of the changes that are coming for you. And I'd say it speaks for itself now, doesn't it, all my beautiful Leo babies? This is a reading that I received for you, and I really hope it resonated and that you found it insightful. Leave a little unicorn emoji down below in the comment section if you made it to the end. And of course, feel free to check out the rest of your birth chart using this video. Thank you so much for being a part of this divine time and space, and I'll catch you during an upcoming video of mine. Hello, my gorgeous Virgo babies, and welcome to your reading. So let's move straight into it in order to see what big changes are coming for you. So first up, we have the dark moon. So in the dark moon, I can see that a big change that's coming for you is this feeling of missing something, missing home. Maybe you miss home because you have moved out, because you've changed locations, but you may also be receiving a lot of information and clarity about where you're from, your ancestors, about the land that you've come from, and maybe even a distant planet that you've originated from. I can see here in the waning crescent too that you're really strong, all my beautiful Virgos, so you're most likely not going to voice this. You're most likely not going to talk to anyone about this because you like to take matters into your own hands and you like to deal with things in your own way. And that's completely fine, but nevertheless, I want you to know here in the waning crescent too that being strong and being resistant doesn't mean that you can never ask for help or never ask for someone to listen to you. I can see here in the waning gibbous too that rather than talking to another person about your feelings, I see that you're focused on pleasure, on fun, on having a good time with others, because you don't want to dampen the mood and you don't want to be that person who brings a dark rainy cloud with them. I can see here in the egg moon that you trust that this is a good path for you, and you trust that this is the right decision for you to simply keep a lot of your emotions bottled up. And in the egg moon, I also want you to know here that trusting that people are going to be receptive to what you're going through isn't something that you should feel ashamed of or that you should feel any way about, all my beautiful Virgos. I get a lot of independence from your reading already, which is of course amazing, but at the same time, even you can need time with another human being to just listen to you, just relate to you. So don't be so overly critical about what you want to allow yourself to share with others and what seems like, oh, you're just making a big fuss over. You are definitely a worrier of the zodiac sign, okay? You often overthink things, and that is where I can see that change is needed. Next up, we have the healer. So all of my beautiful Virgos in the healer, I can see that you have the spiritual gift of healing and a desire to share it with others. So healing could be through your career. Maybe you are looking into working in the medical field or in helping other people, sharing your spiritual gifts. But you can also do so privately without practicing it within your career by, for example, having an open ear for others, listening to them. Maybe you're really good at giving massages or just great advice. I can see here in a leadership, all my beautiful Virgo babies, that moving into taking charge of situations is a big change that's coming next for you, because as a Virgo, you can be pretty shy. You can be, in a way, a little bit conservative and a perfectionist, quite frankly speaking. So you, of course, do not want to make bad decisions. You, of course, do not want to be a bad leader. So for you to really step up into your leadership role says a lot about how far you've come. I do see here in practice that you're going to have to polish your skills, and this is something that will need a lot of trust from your side in yourself. So you're going to have to trust your capabilities, your abilities. You're going to have to trust that you are truly someone who is meant to be a leader in situations, that you are someone who can be a good leader, and that success is something that you can trigger just as much as anyone else. In conjunction to the egg moon as well as the void, I do see here in practice that it's going to be a journey that you may not want to share with others, again, because you can be rather shy and not want to overshare, not want to share too much information that you feel isn't really necessary for you to share. Next, we have the Empress. In the Empress, all my beautiful Virgo babies, we have an increase in fertility, an increase in care for others, but also for yourself. And self-care, whether it be for others or for yourself, is always a good idea. It's always a positive thing. So this is a great change that's coming for you. And I can see here in the Tower that it's going to be very necessary because a lot is changing. Old constructs are falling, are tumbling, are being destroyed, and this is definitely awakening you to a new mindset, bringing a new mindset to you of who you are and who you can expect yourself to be moving forward. I see here in the Temperance card that you may even grow almost overly confident in your abilities at one point, because rebuilding and taking on a leadership role after things have crashed and burned is something that you were brave enough to do, and something that not a lot of people are going to be capable of doing. This is going to inject you with a huge extra boost of self-confidence, all of my beautiful Virgos. So think a company that's going downhill, someone who is really going toward the wrong path, going toward a path of destruction, but you are able to turn things around. You're able to turn things around in the company, make it more profitable, and really save a lot of other people's jobs and ways of having a means to feed themselves and their family. I can see here in the Knave of Swords that embracing the side of you who is unafraid to voice your opinion is what's going to get you there, and what you should rely on. Just being honest and being outspoken, changing from being rather like afraid or a little bit more mellow to being really out there. I can see in the Epidote that going deeper about why you're often afraid to just say how you feel or to not be mellow or shy and quiet is going to bring up lots of memories of your childhood and of the past. And I can see here in the Ocean Jasper that this makes you want to schedule yourself in for some self-care, for a little bit of TLC and love, which is something that you of course deserve a lot more of than you're currently giving yourself, all of my beautiful Virgos. So I can definitely see you pulling a situation that's going downhill back up and saving people a lot of trouble, saving other people a lot of heartache by taking on the leadership role where other leaders have failed. So all my beautiful Virgos, this is a reading that I received for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little duck emoji down below in the comment section to let me know that you made it to the end. And feel free to receive a reading for your moon sign, your rising sign, the rest of your birth chart. Make use of this video, and I'll catch you during another piece of content of mine. Hello, all my beautiful Libras of the world, and welcome to your reading. So I'm going to get straight into it to figure out what big unexpected changes are coming next for you. First up, we have patience. So all of my beautiful Libras, I can see that rather than being indecisive and easily influenced, you are actually giving yourself a lot of time to think, a lot of time to figure out what it is that you want, and you're being very patient with yourself. I see here in the Two of Earth that a decision needs to be made in the earthly realms. As you can see, you're holding two coins here, and one coin is, for example, making more money. The other coin is staying true to yourself and your beliefs. So I can definitely see here in the Two of Earth that that is exactly why you're giving yourself so much extra time, patience, and care, because you understand that a big decision needs to be made that may potentially change your life forever, and there's no reason to rush it. I can see in the Chariot that this has to do with you moving forward when it comes to your career. I see that in conjunction to the Two of Earth, because the suit of Earth is the suit that corresponds to the element of Earth and all the things in the earthly realm, such as your career, your finances. And in the Chariot, things can only move forward as they should, or in a very quick-paced manner if you have made a decision that you can stick to, if you have made a decision that truly resonates on every level, all of my beautiful Libras. So you're ensuring that you're thinking through your decisions in the earthly realms, that you're thinking through what's coming next in your career, and you're giving yourself a lot of patience to make that decision, because at the end of the day, what's an extra month or half a year of really finding out what you want professionally and in your career compared to being stuck for a decade, 2 decades, 5 decades in a career that you're not into because you never gave yourself the time, the patience, the care, the understanding to just think about it and really go deep. I can see here in the strangely lonely card that you're holding on really tightly to something, and I can see that this is causing friction and it's hindering change from coming your way. So not wanting to change the things that are already familiar to you and you already know of is something that isn't new. It's something that isn't exclusive to you, all of my beautiful Libras. And I can see here in the Nautilus Princess, the powerful personal growth can occur as soon as you put the known out of the way, as soon as you kind of realize or remind yourself that everything that you already know has brought you to this point. So if you want something new in your life, if you want to experience new successes, if you want to experience new greatness, you're going to have to do something different in life, right? In order to receive a different result. So next up we have the Violet Duchess. In the Violet Duchess, I can see that you're a little bit bored of where you are right now, and that's why you're wanting to trigger these changes. I can see that you feel a little bit stuck. So changes as well as different options coming for you is a great opportunity for you to shift that perspective and that energy. But you're going to have to be flexible. The changes that are coming for you aren't perfect, all my beautiful Libras, and you may have to make some sacrifices in certain areas of your life in order to take changes on board that can lead to growth. I do see here in purification that you're going to have to cleanse yourself of the ego. You're going to have to purify yourself of the ego, because oftentimes we have opportunities in the earthly realms, for example, but we think, oh, we don't want to start our career at the bottom again, or jobs that are not for us because we've already come so much further. So why should we start at the bottom? You get the notion, all my beautiful Libras. And that's not to say that that's what you're thinking, but often this is a subconscious thing where once we've reached a certain level in life, it's hard for us to be flexible enough to go back. We're always more flexible to make more money, to reach higher social statuses, but going back and revisiting a place where we've been, or climbing down the ladder in society, that is always something that people are a lot less flexible with, understandably so. But once you purify and rid yourself of ego, it's going to be so much more easy for you to step back, right? To go to a place that you've maybe already been, because it can trigger a different future revisiting it now. So starting afresh doesn't have to mean that you're going or taking steps back, because starting afresh means that you can find a new way of doing things. You can find a new career path that can propel you to success a lot more quickly than sticking on a career path that will take you decades and decades and decades to get to where you're trying to go. There may be a fast track, a fast path that you can go down, but you have to be flexible. Next up, we have stillness. So meditation is something that can trigger a huge change for you. A great way to meditate is to use headphones, noise canceling headphones if you can. I know they're really expensive, but they're super worth it, all my beautiful Libras. So if you're looking to invest into a new gadget, I would definitely recommend noise canceling headphones, and put a blanket over yourself. Meditate. I can see in stillness that that is something that will change your life. Solitude. So this just feeds beautifully into the stillness that we spoke about. Doing so alone, of course, meditation is something you can do in a group setting, but I can see that for you, in order to really trigger the big unexpected changes that you're looking for, you should be doing meditation by yourself. You should be practicing mindfulness privately. Next up, we have the angel. So in the angel, I do see that you're protected from harm. This is always an amazing card to receive, because who doesn't want to know that they're protected from harm, right? All my beautiful Libras, especially because you can be a overthinker and you can be someone who flirts with difficult people, difficult situations without knowing it. So you're not seeking out drama, but drama can sometimes just, it seems like, magically appear because you're someone who believes in the good. In the unicorn, I want you to know here that using your intuition to make beneficial changes is what you're being called and urged to do by your guides and by your angels. So using your gut feeling, using your sixth sense is the best thing for you to do right now, rather than trying to be super rational. I can see, last but not least, here in the sunrise, that your creative ideas and new ventures are going to help you on this fresh start in your life. So letting yourself be creative is something that you can do when you've made time to be creative. And making time for creativity means putting yourself first and giving yourself patience to get into your flow state, get into a creative place, so that you can do new things, so that you can be in a place you've never been before, like we spoke about in flexibility and purification. So not creating in order to have a specific outcome or create something specifically beautiful, but creating because it's about the process. It's about the shift of energy within yourself internally. It is about just seeing where things go and actually even welcoming new scenarios, new creations, whether they're beautiful or not that beautiful, because the more different scenarios you welcome, the more possible outcomes that you will have to choose from. So all of my beautiful Libra babies, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section, and also feel free to check out the rest of your birth chart using the timestamps below. I would like to thank you so much for being a part of this reading and this space, and I'll catch you during another video of mine. Hello, all my beautiful Scorpio babies, and welcome to your reading. So we'll get straight into it to figure out exactly what big changes are coming towards you, shall we? First up, we have the waning gibbous 6. So in the waning gibbous 6, I can see an increase in wisdom. You're most likely an old soul, all of my beautiful Scorpio babies, and you're someone who never feels like they've already learned everything or already knows everything. You're constantly taking in new knowledge. I can see here in the Queen of the Moon that your sovereignty is something that is going to increase, is something that is going to bring big unexpected changes into your life, and that's going to allow you to, again, grow in wisdom, take in more information. So your sovereignty is definitely something that I see you putting first and not allowing anyone to get in between. I can see in the green corn moon that patience is something that you have for other people, but not always for yourself, all of my beautiful Scorpios. You're very determined, forceful, and also intuitive. And because you're into exciting scenarios and you're always wanting to move forward, you're always wanting to follow your determination, you can sometimes be very hard on yourself and the progress that you've made. Whereas in the same scenario, if it was another person, you would tell them to take all the time in the world that they need. So that is where I can see in connectivity to the rainbow obsidian that now's a chance for you to heal that scar, because it is scarring to have so much time and patience for others, but not for yourself. All of a sudden, when it's about you, you are impatient, you're forceful, you're restless, you're tactless, you are detached really from your own emotions. And that is where I can see that a lot of healing can be done in order to get back to balance. And that's exactly what the agate stands for, all of my beautiful Scorpios. So owning your sovereignty, owning this wisdom that is yours and applying it to yourself creates amazing changes within your life. Being more patient with yourself is going to allow you to let the money flow in. So all of my beautiful Scorpio babies, creating a lot of material wealth and abundance is not something that just happens overnight or that you just manifest. You definitely have to put your money where your mouth is, so to say. You're definitely going to have to back that up with some action, but also patience, because action and patience, it actually goes hand in hand. If you're looking to create a business venture, if you're looking to create more earthly abundance, you're most likely going to have to do the same thing over and over and over again to become really good at it, right? So if you want to, for example, be the best oracle card reader on YouTube, you're going to have to do readings over and over and over and over again until you can see any financial rewards, let alone big financial rewards. You may have to work for free for a very long time and be patient with yourself, your craft, and your skill while not giving up and believing that there is more out there for you. I can see in the Ace of Air that this shift in your thinking when it comes to money and when it comes to how to accumulate more of it is going to be very liberating, because you understand that there is almost like a recipe for success. And I see in the Emperor that this will cause you to feel very strong in whatever it is that you want to do, because you feel like now you truly have more personal power. But the thing is, all my beautiful Scorpio babies, that you didn't need the Emperor to show you that. You didn't need to do anything specific in order to step into this role of feeling confident about your future. It's been in you all along. It's been present here for you all along. You just simply had to find a way to tap into it. You simply had to find a way to believe that you have the power to steer your life in the direction that you desire. I can see here in embracing all of my beautiful Scorpio babies that embracing this new personal power that you're uncovering is something that will leave you feeling really passionate and spicy about life, like you're ready to take on any new thing that comes your way. So that leaves you feeling very relaxed, right? Because any hurdle, any obstacle, any difficult situation that you're ready to take on means that you're not so anxious about the little things, and you can make more time to just chill, relax, and read, because you're just like, you're ready, you're pumped. Anything that comes your way, you're going to deal with it, which means that things that in the past may have caused you a lot of anxiety and to cause you to overthink, all of those things are now a lot less daunting. I can see here in the voyage that you're moving from one area code to a completely different one. So you're completely changing your outlook on life, your mindset, and this is going to feel like you're being taken from what you know to a place that is completely different and completely new, but has a lot more possibility, which makes a lot of sense, because all of my beautiful Scorpios, if you do what you've always done, you'll receive what you've always had, right? That is why you're here right now in this position in your life, because of the actions that you've taken as well as the mindset that you've been living in. So changing your actions, changing your mindset can take you into a completely different place. Next up, we have the Death card, which stands for a complete rebirth. And I do want you to know, in connectivity to the voyage, that the Death card is most likely showing up because it is the death of the past, the death of life as you've known it up until this point. And I do want you to know here in Judgment that because you are moving away from what you knew, you're definitely setting your sights high, your standards very high, and I see that some people may judge you for it. Some people may feel as though, oh, like, don't be ridiculous, you're dreaming way too big, but you are not, all of my beautiful Scorpios. I see here in Justice that it's important for you to be fair to yourself and to remind yourself that if someone else had a big dream, you would most likely support it. You would most likely say, well, the only way you'll find out is by trying, is by going for it. That's the only way you'll know whether you can do it or not. You wouldn't bash them down immediately. So if you feel as though you're being bashed down or you're not being supported, remind yourself here that that is not fair if you would do something different in that same situation, and that maybe you just need to have a serious discussion with whoever is unsupportive. I can see, last but not least, in the High Priestess for you, all my beautiful Scorpios, that you have a very intimidating edge to you, a very intimidating energy, and I see that that's only going to continue increasing. The people who are able to hang around you and become friends with you are people who have to be strong. These are people who have to be sure in themselves, certain of their abilities, and not intimidated by other people's success, because weak-minded people are definitely not going to survive around you, all of my beautiful Scorpios, as the energy and the building of the energy, especially within these next weeks and months in your life, is going to be very intense, powerful, and determined. So ensure that you don't have any leeches that are just here to leech off of your amazing energy, and that the people surrounding you have similar type of boss energy. All of my beautiful Scorpios, this is the reading that I received for you. Leave a little unicorn emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it all the way to this point in your reading. Thank you for being here and for sharing this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during an upcoming piece of content of mine. Hello, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies, and welcome to your reading. So let's go straight into your reading so we can figure out exactly what big unexpected changes are coming for you. Okay, first up we have the Sun, which is one of the most favorable cards of the tarot. The Sun stands for happiness, fulfillment, and being content with the situation. I can see here in the Five of Fire that this is most likely a situation that has to do with your love life, where in the past there was friction. So if you've been in a difficult romantic relationship, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies, I want you to know that that difficult situation is going to be resolved either through you ending up with this person and working through it, or you being alone and very content in your life and your romantic situation. Next we have the Eight of Earth. So in the Eight of Earth, I can see that you're not allowing for anyone to come between you, your career, your finances. I can see in the Eight of Earth that you're taking full control over this situation. So anyone who is causing friction for your professional life is going to be a part of the big change, as in they are going to be exiting your space and your realm because you don't have time for that. I can see in the Four of Air that you're definitely asking yourself if it's the right thing for you to do, to act this way and to get rid of people who aren't helping you support your career. So I can definitely see you maybe blaming yourself for pushing other people away because they're unsupportive, but just listen to it, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies. You are blaming yourself for pushing unsupportive people away. Like, how paradoxical is that? If they're unsupportive, they have no place within your life, and that's completely fine for you to decide. I can see in the Six of Water that sharing time with other people and sharing time with people who see you for who you are, that is truly therapeutic. So it is important for you to focus on being with those who see you for the amazing leader that you are, for the person who is able to overcome adversity. So in the Six of Water, know your worth, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies, and then follow through on that. Follow through on only being with people who bring out the best in you. I can see here in the Five of Cups that you will definitely experience a little bit of a situation of feeling regret, or feeling as though, oh, you should have embarked on this journey way earlier. All my beautiful Sagittarius babies, have you ever discovered like a new recipe or a new hobby and you thought to yourself, if I had already discovered this like 5 or 10 years ago, that would have been awesome. I could have enjoyed so much more of it. I could have made so much more of it. That is the type of feeling that I can see here in the Five of Cups. And I do want you to know here in the Ten of Swords that you're very quickly going to realize that there's no point in going into the past and wishing that you would have started something earlier or you would have had more support earlier. I think a lot of people go through this where they ask themselves where they could be right now if their parents parents would have, for example, really had a genuine interest in their hobbies, in their passions, and if their parents would have pushed that, like they could have been an athlete, they could have been a pop star, they could have been a doctor, whatever it is that you dreamt of doing at one point in time, but you felt like it wasn't taken seriously. Harnessing that within you and asking yourself what if is going to chew away at you emotionally. It's going to chew away at you physically as well, because stress and feeling low is definitely something that affects the physical body as well. So that is where I can see in the King of Swords that you have to take control over your thoughts, over what's going on with you mentally, all my beautiful Sagittarians. The King of Swords is the king of the element of air, and the element of air corresponds to everything that happens mentally. And these are especially fears that have not turned to reality. These are fears that are just completely in your head and can still be worked on. But of course, mental things are just as real as physical things, and the brain can often not tell the difference between mental anguish and that affecting you physically as well. I can see here in the Knave of Coins that you are on the right track to finding your forever place in your career, but there's definitely a little bit more exploring and open-mindedness that is required of you in order to truly reach your peak, in order to truly reach your height in your career. So you're not quite there yet. I can see in forgiveness coming back to this notion of feeling like maybe your talents weren't as fostered as you wish that they were, and maybe your parents or people closest to you didn't see your potential the way that you hoped that they would. Forgiving that situation, but also doing better moving forward for young people surrounding you, maybe even your own children, and really looking into their hobbies and the things that they love. Next up, in courage, I do want you to know here that it takes courage for people to believe in others and to put everything that they can in order to make a dream work. And not everyone has that courage. Just because you have it, my beautiful Sagittarians, that doesn't mean that other people are as strong as you are. So I want you to understand that on an intellectual level, you are unmatched, and this is definitely something that you can't expect from others. I can see here in wisdom that, again, this is something that is cultivated through experience, and a lot of people are not courageous enough to make new experiences, which means that they will never grow all that much in wisdom. And sometimes it can even be people who are really close to you, and realizing that people who you looked up to aren't actually that wise or don't actually grow that much. It can be a little bit disheartening. It can be a little bit of a reality check, but at the same time, I see that it's a necessary change. That will not take away from your love for them. However, all my beautiful Sagittarians, as this is something that remains a constant, and this is something that you don't need any wisdom for, that you don't need a lot of courage for, because as a Sagittarius, you're someone who is very loving, you're someone who is very good-humored, and you definitely aren't someone who wants to hold grudges for a long time. You would rather get over situations and move into the good stuff, move into the emotionally abundant realm. So all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, this is the reading that I received for you, and I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section. All of your comments are so greatly appreciated. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to let me and the algorithm know that you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, all my beautiful Capricorns of the world, and welcome to your reading. So let's move straight into it in order to figure out what big unexpected changes are coming towards you. So first up, we have the cobweb as well as the forest. So in the forest, we have muddled, unclear thinking, and in the cobweb, we have you being protected from negative forces beyond your control. So even if you're going through a phase of brain fog where you even don't know what you had for dinner last night, you can't even remember what happened this morning, all my beautiful Capricorns, not saying you shouldn't get that checked out, but I am saying here in the cobweb that you are protected from any negative forces that are beyond your control. So don't worry too much about what may enter your life next, because the big changes that are coming for you are going to be positive ones. Next up, we have animals. So in animals, I can definitely see that you understand animals and you communicate with them intuitively, trust trusting your inner guidance when it comes to animals is one thing that you can count on, as they are also meant to be a part of your journey in life. So sharing your existence with animals is something that serves you, even if it takes a little bit more time and effort. Go the extra mile to be around them. I can see that animals to you are almost as good as counseling, but at the same time, keep in mind, all my beautiful Capricorns, that counseling is nothing to be ashamed of, and that you're someone who heals with kind words, wise advice, and an empathetic ear, and you need the same as well. Just as much as you are someone who can provide that for others, kind words, wise advice, as well as an empathetic ear, you need that too. You also sometimes should be able to lean on another person to just speak your mind, say what it is that you're going through and how you feel. I can see here in sensitivity that you're becoming more sensitive, and that's why you have to make changes accordingly. That's why you have to speak to someone. If possible, a professional, or just someone who you know can truly listen to you and doesn't always have advice, unsolicited advice. Okay, that is an important part here, as I can see here in the forest in conjunction to counseling and sensitivity, that your unclear thinking, or this brain fog that you may be going through, is something that has occurred because you're not 100% sure what you're going through, where it stems from, if it's childhood trauma, if it's just overall something going on with your body, a chemical imbalance. So just being heard and just being able to receive wise advice or an empathetic ear to talk to can already make a world of difference. The same goes with connecting to animals, as you intuitively connect with them and they intuitively connect with you. So it can be a great support system to have a cat, a dog, a rat, whatever type of animal that you prefer close by, or be able to visit an animal if you are not able to take sufficient care of one for whatever reason, your job, etc. In the pink opal, all of my beautiful Capricorn babies, I see that it's important for you to be kind to yourself. As a Capricorn, you can sometimes be a little bit pessimistic, especially in conjunction to your future and yourself. So that's where it's important for you to really move into the Capricorn you that I know you can be, who is very fun, who is very patient, and apply those amazing traits on yourself, those caring traits that are within you. I can see here in the shungite in conjunction to the forest that detoxing your life right now could really serve you. So if you've been taking in more toxins than usual, that could be alcohol, that could be unhealthy foods, it could be breathing in cleaning detergent. I mean, toxins are really everywhere, and your body is equipped to work through a certain amount of toxins, but when there is an overload, you do require a detox, and that is one thing that I can see in the shungite. And in the rose quartz, opening your heart is the result of the detox. So feeling more secure, feeling more of an ability to open your heart again, because right now, if your body is filled with toxins that are coming from the outer world, you are going to have a very hard time to open up also spiritually and emotionally to receiving new information, to listening to your intuition, because when you're filled with anxiety, or when you are unsure why your thinking is unclear or all over the place, that fosters distrust in yourself. That ensures that you are just not able to even trust your own gut feeling or intuition, because you're not sure what's going on. So detoxing can really help you gain clarity in different planes of life. Next up, we have the waxing crescent 2. In the waxing crescent 2, I see more acceptance for other people. Acceptance not just for different appearances and different heritages, but just overall acceptance towards other people's lifestyles and beliefs as well. And this is something that is bringing you to a place of alignment and bringing you to a place where you feel like you're a lot more at peace, which I do see here in the blue moon that comes very unexpectedly. Because if you're, for example, someone who fights for animals, for climate change, if you're someone who is very convinced about living a life with as little harm that you're doing to others as possible, then it's of course going to come very unexpected for you that you can accept others who maybe don't have the same opinion. But that just shows, in conjunction to the rose quartz, that you have fully opened your heart and that you're seeing just love for everybody and understanding for everybody's journey. I can see here in the waning give us 6 that wisdom is the result of your journey. Wisdom is coming as a big change. Not that you can't be wise now, all my beautiful Capricorns, don't take that the wrong way, but just more wisdom, okay? More knowledge, more learning through experience. And I do see here in the hot moon that you're going to feel as though the changes coming into your life are making life just extremely different from what you know, and are changing your mindset in a way that you never thought it could be changed. So being so much more open to other people and their beliefs and what they're going through, a lot less judgmental, and really focused on the sensitivity that you're going through and the things that you can change within your life. And leading by example is something that I can see you wanting to do, and more like embracing that, rather than feeling like there's no point in setting a good example. You're truly, fully, 100% embracing that. So all of my beautiful Capricorn babies, this is a reading that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little dove emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of your reading and that you were here. Thank you so much for sharing this time and space with me, and I'll catch you during another one of my predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Aquarius babies, and welcome to your reading. So let's move straight into it so we can figure out exactly what big unexpected changes are coming into your life next. First up, we have the Page of Air. So a new way of thinking, a new belief system. I can definitely see that you're receiving new information. This can also be scientific-based evidence that you're living your life by. So for example, one thing that has changed my mind recently, all of my beautiful Aquariuses, is reading the book Why We Sleep, and I am not missing my 7 to 8 hours of sleep ever again. So reading something really impactful that changes your lifestyle, that is one thing that I can see here in the Page of Air for you. Next up, in the 6 of Air, I can see that this is going to serve you on a deeper level, just as my example with the sleep and understanding how important sleep is. This has raised my awareness for my body, my mental health, and I can see in the Page of Air in conjunction to the 6 of Air that the same is coming for you, all of my beautiful Aquarius babies. You are going to find that you're so much more interconnected with your well-being when you learn and change your mindset about a habit that hasn't served you in the past. Next up, we have the 9 of Fire. So in the 9 of Fire, I see a passion project coming to a culmination, coming to an end, and you finally finishing it. So that DIY project, that thing that you've always wanted to do, I can see in the 9 of Fire that it's finally taking place and you're making time for it, which in the 4 of Earth is going to cost you a good amount of time, energy, and money. But I do also see that you're going to feel like it's so worth it. So it's definitely hard for you to spend money on yourself for things such as hobbies and adventures and just overall things that you can't really see physically. But I do want you to know here in the 4 of Earth and connectivity to the 9 of Fire that it's going to serve you to do so. It's going to serve you to enter that class, to enter that virtual space, even if it costs a little bit of money. But what it's going to do on an emotional basis, on a mental basis for you, is so much more than a physical object could ever provide you with. I can see here in Amara the Menahune that aloha healing is coming towards you, island healing, and just welcoming healing. Okay, so welcoming healing is something that you haven't done as much in the past. All my beautiful Aquarius babies, you're a very humanitarian and friendly individual, but at the same time, when it comes to your own healing, you can sometimes become very unemotional and detached, and in a way not understand that you need healing as well. I can see here in the Lantern Fairy that there is a clear solution that will present itself to you in the form of as I said, spending time, energy, and money on yourself, but it's something that you need to get yourself to do. It's something that you need a little bit of extra encouragement in, and that is exactly why this reading is kind of calling you out on it a little bit, all my beautiful Aquarius babies, but not in a bad way. Next, we have the Waxing Gibbous 6. Take action, okay? Prep yourself, get ready to embark on a fresh journey where you spend more money and time just taking care on yourself, and also not being afraid to be alone more often, because I can definitely see here in the Waxing Gibbous 6 in conjunction to your Aquarius placement that being alone isn't always the most comfortable thing for you, but the more you act on making it a normal thing, of making it a regular part of life, the more you will find that it passes by the discomfort of being alone with your own thoughts. And once it does pass by, you have a lot more patience to explore the depths of who you are and your life's evolution. I can see in the green corn moon here that patience is also something that you're trying to cultivate and foster more of, as I can definitely see here in the green corn moon, that patience is something that you may have struggled with in the past because you were just overly interested in getting things done. And overly interested in getting things done just shows that you're someone who's very inventive, independent, and you like to just move on with things. You don't like things to linger on forever. You like to innovate and move on to the next. I can see in the Two of Cups for all my beautiful Aquariuses that there is a love interest that's going to make some big changes within your life. So your love life is heading into a favorable direction, a direction that screams new love, that screams marriage, that screams a new beginning, a new fresh start for you. I can see in the Page of Crystals reverse is younger than you on an emotional basis, so who is a little bit less wise than you, who is a little bit less experienced than you, but nevertheless you make for a great bond. I can see in the Three of Cups reversed that having fun with them is something that you're looking forward to, and is definitely something that you can have more of without feeling like it's too much. Because I do definitely see in the Three of Cups reversed that sometimes you think that you're partying too much, you're having too much fun, and that you should take a step back. But all of my beautiful Aquariuses, you only have one life. You might as well just live it to the extent that you would like to. Next, we have the Sun reversed. So all of my beautiful Aquarius babies in the Sun card reversed, I can see that having fun is just the medicine that you need. A lot of these cards showed up reversed, almost all of them except for the Two of Cups, which does show me that the Two of Cups comes first. So love comes first is what I meant to say. That soulmate connection, that twin flame connection, and then later on comes sorting out differences, allowing yourself to have fun, partying, and just being in a space of non-judgment towards your decisions. Those are all things that follow after you have established this romantic relationship. So let's see what else the universe has to say. Last but not least, we have the Mountain Road. So all of my beautiful Aquarius babies, the Mountain Road, this is a beautiful note to end your reading on. You are on the road to success. That is one thing that I can see here for you. So hold on tight, all my beautiful Aquarius babies, because the big unexpected changes coming for you, most likely closer than you expected. And I want you to know here in the Mountain Road that you're just on the right path. Of course, the Mountain Road isn't an easy one, but at the same time, you're well equipped to get up there. You have the stamina, you have the strength, both mentally and physically. So don't deny yourself of the journey. Don't deny yourself of pushing yourself to your limits in a good way. So all of my beautiful Aquariuses, thank you so much for spending this time with me. So all my beautiful Aquariuses, thank you so much for spending this divine time with me. Leave a mountain emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, and I'll catch you during another one of my videos. Hello, all my beautiful Pisces babies, and welcome to your reading. So let's get into it to figure out exactly what next big unexpected changes are coming towards you, shall we? Ooh, okay, we have a card that popped right out of the pile. We have the Flute. So in the Flute, I can see that there is some sort of disappointment in a friend or in a lover that's going to affect you. I can see in conjunction to the Barrel that something in that relationship may have been lacking, okay? So it could have been love, them not being very goal-oriented and therefore not being a great influence on your life, or kind of feeling like they're holding you back. Those are all possible scenarios that you had to put up with. But I can see here within the Flowers that happiness is something that you're able to have without them. I can definitely see that in conjunction to the Flute and feeling disappointed in this lover or this friend. Let's move further into your reading. We have the Finger. So in the Finger, I can see that this reading is actually just a warning sign for you, the warning of a problem that is entering now or in the near future. So do know here that this disappointment in a friend or a lover will actually not stop them from disappointing you again. They may just try to do the same thing on another day, so to say, all my beautiful Pisces babies. And because you're someone who is so sensitive and compassionate, you're also very selfless, you can fall prey to people who tend to just disappoint you. But that is where I want you to understand here that it's important for you to take these signs seriously and to distance yourself from disappointment. As I can see here in the Waning Gibbous 4, that you're someone who exudes a lot of beauty emotionally and spiritually. So people are attracted to you who maybe want to make use of that, who maybe want to be with you just for your looks, just for your exterior appearance. But I can see here in the Waxing Crescent 3 that you have grown beyond the realm of just physical connectivity. You have grown way beyond feeling like that is a valid reason to be in a relationship. You want more than just looks. You want more than just physical attraction. And I can see here with this little depiction here of a clock that time is running out for anyone who is lacking in growth and who is lacking in commitment to personal development. Next, we have the Waxing Gibbous 2. So in the Waxing Gibbous 2, there is some fear that's present around losing you. And this is one thing that I can see that this problematic person has. They of course don't want to lose you. People who are problematic or narcissists, they don't want to lose their narcissistic supply. They don't want to lose the very person who enables them to act out or to act in a way that isn't necessarily very nice. So that is where I can see in Fear, as well as the Finger and the Flute, that this person is going to most likely cling on to you. Oh wow, the Smoky Quartz has spoken, all my beautiful Pisces. Let it go. I don't think I need to tell you what to do about this person or this scenario. Next up, we have the Angel Aura Quartz. So now we're having a little moment of lightening up. Okay, we're moving on from this topic of this friend and this lover who is not putting great energy into your life, who you're going to let go of. So I can see here in the Angel Aura Quartz that we're moving forward on a way lighter note in your reading now, all my beautiful Pisces babies. So let's get further into it, shall we? Oh, my camera is just playing tricks on us today, isn't it? Let's see if we can adjust. There we go. So next up we have Standstill. So all of my beautiful Pisces in Standstill, I can see here that your aging process is something that is not happening in a very rapid way. I can see in conjunction to Beauty and Standstill. While other areas of your life may need a little bit of adjustment, I can see that your beauty regimen is on point. It's really serving you. It's something that I definitely want you to continue on with. And I see that just genetically speaking, you're unlocking more genes that are in your favor when it comes to physical beauty by allowing for inner peace to radiate. That is one thing that I can see here, because a lot of people don't realize that it is scientifically proven that 90% of our genes or just the outcome of our genes isn't just destiny. So if, for example, your parents had a genetic disorder or something in their genes that caused them to be ill, that doesn't mean that you're definitely going to have the same fate happen to you. So in inner peace as well as standstill, I want you to know that these genes need to be activated and unlocked. And the reason why a lot of people have ill health or just genetic difficulties passed down to them is more often than not because parents also pass down thoughts and lifestyle choices to their children. So if your parents were, for example, very negative or never believed in themselves or weren't very happy or positive people, the chances are definitely high that you could take on a lot of those mental mindsets and that those can unlock stress in your body. And we all know that stress can actually make you physically ill. The same goes for lifestyle choices. If your parents never taught you how to eat healthily, exercise on a regular basis, or they weren't very good role models when it came to that, then of course you run risk of being the exact same because you didn't learn it any other way. And this is not to say that you're doing anything wrong. It's really not your fault, all my beautiful Pisces, but it's something to be aware of. So the more that you really focus on breaking those patterns, those ancestral patterns, the more you will find inner peace and the more you will feel healthy and delay the aging process. And I don't just mean beauty related aging process, but also the aging internally in your body, and the age at which you start to feel old is going to be delayed. Next, we have security. So all my beautiful Pisces, I can see here that this reading is definitely giving you a sense of security, a sense of understanding that a lot of things are matters that you can take into your own hands and that you don't have to wait for other people, or you don't have to wait for disease to strike and you're literally just counting down the days. You can take your health into your possession, lead yourself down a healthier path. And as I can see here in the King of Diamonds, this is something that you were destined to do. The King of Diamonds showing up reversed just shows that there are a little bit of delays of you moving into this strong sense of self and into this leadership role, but nevertheless it is a part of your existence. As I can see here in the Six of Diamonds reversed, it later down the line, humanitarian work is something that you're going to do a lot of. First, of course, comes the King of Diamond reversed, you moving into your strong leadership role. But then afterwards, in the Six of Diamonds, I can see you helping a lot of other people, helping during charitable causes and events, and ensuring that you do as much good in this world as you possibly can. I can see in the Page of Crystals upright that this is where you're starting out first, all my beautiful Pisces, and then you're moving into the King of Diamonds reversed. So you're first starting off by just following passion projects and figuring out what it is that you really love that can create the earthly abundance and life that you need in order to give to more charitable causes. So you're not going straight to more charitable ways of living, but you're figuring out exactly what changes you can make in order to give you more freedom to invest more time and energy and financial backing into causes that really matter for you, and also potentially into helping family and friends. But all of my beautiful Pisces, I do want you to know here that big unexpected changes that are coming towards you is definitely how well that you age. Okay, that's number one. Second of all, a big unexpected change is you not allowing people to walk all over you anymore. You're not a doormat. Get up, all my beautiful Pisces. You're someone who is very kind, and this is definitely something that people try to take advantage of, but I want you to know here, in conjunction to the Waxing Crescent 3 and the Angel Aura Quartz, that growth is something that's inevitably going to change that, and inevitably going to start shutting the door on a lot of people who have been around you for the wrong reason, or who may look at you as a free ride to something that they want, because they're coming from a place that is rather selfish, and you're someone who is very giving and generous. So all of my beautiful Pisces, Empowerment is a big one for you. It is a change that's coming towards you that's inevitable. And I hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. Leave a little blowfish emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of your reading. Thank you so much for joining me during this divine time and space, and I'll catch you in an upcoming video of mine.